I could just imagine two couples wearing they filmed each other having the best sex ever, and they're just reliving that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Honey, what's wrong? You haven't put on your Apple Vision today.
Welcome back to my throat is ruined. Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast. I'm Connor, featuring the boys, Joey and Garnt.
Hi. It's pretty hot here today.
Why are you doing
I don't know.
Japanese summer.
Hey, that's my thing.
Effect.
Japanese summer is coming, and
What do you mean coming? It's here.
Okay, it is
fucked.
here.
It's gross.
It's not as bad right now. It's just humid. That's all.
That's the bad part. That's the part I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I just came back from America. Came back from, I guess, the West Coast once again, because I figured out this year, I was like, I remember at the start of this year, I said to myself, I'm going to travel less to America the next year. Mm-hmm. And I think I figured it out now. I'm traveling to America now 5 months in a row, I think.
Wait.
You're such a tsundere for America.
wait.
I am.
Because you went in May.
We went in,
March.
When did we go to Hawaii again?
March.
For Hawaii, March.
Yeah.
Went in April.
What did you go for April?
I swear we went in April, right?
Did we?
Or
No, we went to Australia in April.
okay, shit. Wait, did I just mistake America for Australia?
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
You just declared war on Australia,
Well,
bro.
I've been to America a bunch. I went in February.
Yeah.
March. Now I'm going in June.
I'm the only
July.
real hater. I've only been once.
well, Joey, to be fair, you I would be in the
I've
same
been
position.
everywhere else.
Yeah, I would be in the same position because every time you go to America, you get stopped and questioned, and you get treated like a terrorist sometimes.
I get treated like an animal, and I hate it. So no, thank you for me.
But you know what? I'm gonna say something controversial. I'm gonna say
Go
something
on.
controversial.
Go on then.
I enjoyed my trip in America this time.
we everyone knows we like America.
We like America. We're just tsunderes for America. Everyone knows.
So this time I was like, I guess it was like the first time in a while where I've been to America purely just for a holiday. No working, no collabing with YouTubers, no kind of like
no way.
no convention to go to. I just went to America, chilled out with some friends, and went to Napa Valley and
Oh, that's why.
okay, no, actually, we
The mystery has been solved. We figured it out.
Even before Napa Valley, we went to Lake Tahoe, which is kind of like near San Francisco.
I hear so many of these places in movies, and I just assume that they're like,
I like Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe.
Have you been to Lake Tahoe?
I've been to Lake Tahoe. Yeah,
It's a Lake Tahoe.
it's a lake called Tahoe.
Yeah, it's
Why is it always mentioned? What's so special about
It's
it?
a-
I have
nice
no
area.
idea. It's just a nice area. It's very. I didn't understand what America Core is until I went to a place like Lake Tahoe, and I'm like, this is like American tourism, just like in a nutshell. It's like just like a nice scenic lake, and then there's like a little touristy town with little trinkets and souvenirs.
It's what Japanese people envision the perfect American holiday to look like, I feel.
Yeah, it is the
Out of the
perfect
city.
American holiday. And going to Lake Tahoe after spending so much time in Japan, this is gonna sound like a joke, but it's not. I realized I kind of missed the freedom you get in America.
He's been indoctrinated, bro. It's too late. It's too late.
What do you mean?
We
by
lost
that?
a fellow brother.
I don't know, because like sometimes you go on a holiday in Japan and you want to do like an activity or something, right? And it's just like you have to phone ahead, make sure everyone has the right equipment, make sure everything is booked out. You go in at the right time slot, and if you miss that time slot, and then it was just nice being in somewhere like Lake Tahoe and just waking up and being like, what do we feel like doing today? Oh, let's rent a boat. Oh, do we have to book out anything? So we didn't know if we have to book out a boat or something like that. So we went for lunch somewhere, and then we just saw that there was a boat rental place like right next to the lunch place we were going to. And we were just like, let's just ask if we could maybe book out a boat maybe today or tomorrow. So we go to the place and they're just like, yeah, when do you need a boat? Just and
This is a uniquely Japan problem.
yeah.
It is.
This is a very Japan problem, and I was like, do you need a license? And they were like, nope. Do you need a time slot? And they were like, when do you think you're gonna be back? And we can just get you if you can't drive a boat, we can get you a captain. No worries.
That is like the mentality I love that Japan does not have. Like the fuck it mentality.
Yeah, it's
just being like, yeah, fuck it, we'll figure it out. Whatever.
Yeah, just fuck it. And I'm like, can we like bring like fishing rods, or can we have like other stuff on the boat? And they're like, yeah, you can do, you know, water ski if you want. You can do like all these other activities.
Did you water ski?
Huh? I did not water ski that day because the water was fucking freezing. Funnily enough, it was a pretty like there were still places near Lake Tahoe where you can go skiing, and this was like in June. So I was like, what is this weather right now? Yeah. This is very confusing. But I did go the word fucking fly fishing. I went fly fishing for the first time, which I've realized now I've done a lot of different kinds of fishing, and before, like 2 years ago, I'd never fished in my life. I was like, all fishing is kind of the same, right? Which, all fishing is the same. You just put the rod in the water, wait for the bite, and then you just reel it in.
I played enough fishing mini games.
Yeah, I thought all fishing was basically the fishing mini game in every video game you've ever played, and the first fishing experience was basically just that. It was basically you're on a lake, you just put out the line, wait for the fish to bite, and the bite feels exactly like it does in a video game. You feel the vibration, and then you just like start reeling.
You see the press A prompt.
Yeah, you see the press A prompt, and then you just start reeling it in. And then we had the fishing trip with Geeks Plus, and that was like fishing easy mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That was baby mode for sure.
Yeah, we've briefly talked about this, but we're like in a river, and then they literally threw the fish in this river for us to catch. They said there is this many fish.
Here's the tutorial.
Yeah.
I love how at that time too, everyone saw that. Like, they didn't even make it subtle, and we all just kind of silently agreed. We were like, let's just pretend we didn't see that. Let's like, just for our sake, just for our own enjoyment, let's just pretend.
Pretend I didn't fucking see that.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, they even gave us like an SSR catch, because there was one golden fish. There was one. Yeah. There was in the sea of like gray fish. There was one golden fish that they put in the bucket, which was the SSR catch.
Yep, that was 5 points.
Which was 5 points. Yeah. And so we decided to do fly fishing in Lake Tahoe, or near Lake Tahoe, and I was like, I've done fishing before. How hard could this be? You know, I've had some fishing experience. I didn't, so it kind of confused me when we decided to do fly fishing that there was like an hour-long kind of like tutorial stage. I was like, what are we doing for an hour?
So wait, do you want to explain fly fishing for people who don't know what it is?
I still don't know what the technical definition is of fly fishing, but if you've ever seen in a movie or a TV show where someone's fishing and they're doing this a lot, where they're like basically whipping the line,
using the lure, right? It like spins or does like something to catch the attention of the fish, right?
Actually not. So the reason
something else. I don't know.
Maybe because basically what I was taught was fly fishing is the one where you see people just like whipping the line around before they throw it in, and that's because that's basically to give you control over exactly where you throw the lure in, right? So you can control the reason I've realized why we needed an hour long kind of like session teaching us how to properly throw the lure is because it is actually quite hard to keep control of the exact length and the direction, and making sure, because if you throw it, you need to throw it so it's like the lure and the line is completely straight, right? Which is a lot harder to do than initially seems when you're
like lassoing.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like lassoing, right?
Right.
And so you have to get like the timing exactly right when you're kind of like whipping it like back and forth. You let a little bit more go, and then depending on how much of the line you let go, which is the length of the line you're trying to throw, the timing is a bit different, because it's almost like if you mistime it, then
it's like a quick time event.
Yeah, it is exactly a quick time event, and you have to go through this before even getting your line into the river, right? If you fuck it up, then you've already fucked up, basically. Because there's so many things that can go wrong. Maybe you whip it too hard and then the line goes into the water before you actually throw the line in, because you're meant to throw it in as softly as possible. So it's meant to just like it's kind of like meant to be like a leaf or something, or like an insect just dropping off and just like falling into the river. But if you like fucking whip it in the water, that's obviously going to scare the fish off.
Right.
So it's this is like fishing with the Dark Souls patch like put in. There's a lot more.
I was gonna say, it
gameplay.
sounds like a multi-phase boss fight.
Yeah, it is a multi-phase boss fight, because on top of that, all the fishing I'm used to is that when the line's in, you just wait, right? You don't have to do anything, and you wait for the pull.
Yeah.
And with fly fishing, the hook that we're given was like way smaller than what it usually is. So you have to like eagle eye like the line on the water, and as soon as you see any kind of movement at all, you just gotta fucking pull up.
Right.
You actually have to be attentive, because how it was explained to us is like the trouts, obviously they don't want to waste calories eating something, right? So they're not going to like swim up and like bite it. What's going to happen is you're going to drop the line, they're going to see something that looks a bit nice, and they're going to waste the least amount of calories as possible, just giving it a nibble, and they're just going to let go. Because
why are the trouts so concerned about calories? Like, what are they bulking? Like,
okay, well, if
Also
they
survival, right?
Yeah, if they expend more calories to eat something than the calories that they're eating,
you're right.
Then they're gonna die, Joey. Then they're gonna die. Okay, yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, you have like a 0.5 second chance. So as soon as you see something, you just gotta fucking you have to. It is like that fishing mini game where you think you feel something, and as soon as you think you feel or see something, you just gotta like
press A.
You just gotta press A.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time, you didn't feel anything or you didn't see anything. It was just the movement of the water.
Right.
And then on top of that, which is actually the part that I like the most, right? Because fly fishing, you don't reel it in. Right, you pull it in. Okay, so because the hook is a lot smaller than a lot of other fishing I'm used to, there's a chance that the trout could just get away, and the trout could actually free himself. So you do the yank to actually like set the hook into the trout.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to yank it really hard, and once it's set, you got to fight it. Right, so that's actually you have to.
The stamina bar pops up.
Literally, the stamina bar pops up. Right, the stamina bar pops up.
This one's a big one.
The stamina bar pops up, and what happens is, so there's different things you have to do. Right,
You stagger the fish.
you basically have to stagger the fish. You have to wear it down. So you don't. Okay, so here's the thing.
You staggered. Use the special.
So you have to like angle your rod so it's like the perfect angle where it's like just a little bit bent, right? So it's kind of like that. So it gives like resistance towards the fish. So if they're swimming like away, you have to angle it so it's not too it's not too angled, otherwise the line's gonna snap.
Yeah.
But it's not too.
This like it's a fucking speed run. It's like, so this is the angle perfect movement, right?
This is how it was explained to us. It needs to be angle perfect. So if they're swimming away, you need to angle it so it's the perfect amount of resistance, so they are still like expending energy, but not enough that the line snaps. But what happens if the fish swims towards you? Well, that's when you actually start reeling it in, and you reel it in by hand. You start reeling it by hand. So it's kind of like, it is literally the stamina bar, and you have to like angle your controller so that it's like perfect. It's the perfect angle. It is.
I guess it's rooted in realism.
Yeah, it is actually.
It makes sense now.
It is actually rooted in realism.
You would hope the people who make these fishing games
know how to fish.
Yeah.
Fished, or there's somebody on the team who's like, that's how I do it.
And I gotta say, it is fucking addictive.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think my little brother does it all the time.
Yeah.
I think he's like hooked on it.
Yeah, I think I did it once, and it's got like the perfect gameplay loop of just like one more time. Just one more line.
Did you eat the fish when you caught them, or did you put them?
With this one, we had to put them back.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise, you normally we are under supervision. Normally, you need a fishing license, and you can only fish a certain amount, so you don't overfish the lake or whatever.
Yeah.
So this one, we're under supervision, so we didn't need a fishing license, and we put all the trouts back. But yeah, it was fuck. I think I get fishing now. Like after that, after like the Japan trip, I was like, this is pretty boring, you know. With the fish just come to you and you're like, hee, okay.
Definitely eating them is fun as well.
Yeah, eating them is fun.
Ah, yes, the cycle of life.
But yeah, fly fishing is the fishing mini game.
For gamers.
It is for gamers. It is addicting, and it's most of the time it's like you get an hour of just boredom of just like throwing it in, and then like the adrenaline rush of like when you're actually fighting the fish and like making sure like, I made this fish my bitch, man. I showed him who's boss. He knows. And then you catch it and you're like, all right, that was actually
hype.
That was fucking hype, actually.
I think of all the fishing I've done, which is 2, ice fishing was my least favorite.
What's ice fishing like?
I mean, I've done that too.
It's just not fun.
I mean, it depends. How much did you catch?
I caught like 7, but what were the size of the fish you were catching?
Like that big?
Yeah, they're like this.
Yeah.
They're tiny.
Well, I mean, there's no fish
I know.
larger that could survive that
but it's
water,
like,
right?
It's like the most, if that's like the accurate mini game, ice fishing is the cookie clicker of
it is.
the fishing
It's
universe.
the idle fishing game.
It's like you don't really do much. You just my one I had to keep tapping it, and although these old men were trolling me, and they were trying to make me as cold as possible because they knew I was unprepared and they were fucking with me. But they also completely unrelated. They kept calling each other skibby.
Skibby.
Yeah.
Like pervert.
Yeah, they kept calling each other, hey, this guy's a pervert.
And I'm like, I'm in the same tent. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, but that was just like, and then you'd catch something, you're like, oh, great, the world's smallest fish.
I mean, I thought it was really fun because I did it on Journey Across Japan. I thought it was super fun because
you guys all had your own like nice private.
Yeah, we were in like a tent together, and like it was Pete and Chris versus me and Natsuki, and it was only fun because we fucking destroyed Pete and Chris. They were literally sitting right next to us, like this distance apart, own hole to fish through, and we were just fishing all this.
I could see the joy in it if you were in a nice tent and you had like a heater, and you had some beers,
and just chilling with the boys.
I get it, but as like the actual fishing aspect, I was just like,
it's not
this
that
is
hype.
so boring.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like I realized different types of fishing are good for different types of, let's say, environments.
I've been
vibes.
I've been ocean fishing as well.
I fucking despise ocean fishing.
That was actually ocean fishing was the worst one.
Yeah, ocean fishing was like the combination of all of the most boring parts of fishing with just unpleasant experience.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've only seen like footage of people doing it. It looks like hectic, but in the most not fun way.
Yeah.
It's just like the adrenaline is rushing through your body, but you're not catching anything.
Yeah, honestly, fly fishing has been my favorite so far. In terms of just, I think I'm like, next time I get an opportunity, I'm definitely gonna try it again. Fucking Didus destroyed everyone. It's the mainer in him. I caught 3 fish on average. Like in our group, people caught like 2 or 3 fish. Cindy caught 1. Didus like caught 9. And then he stopped early because he was like, I think I'm done.
I've maxed out.
He stopped like half an hour before everyone else did. And then there's me like half an hour after our time has run out to be like, come on, just one more. I just want to throw one more line. It's this line. This is the line.
He's that kid who finishes the test 30 minutes.
Right. And he aced it as
well. You're doing the exam and then someone stands up 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour exam. You're like, what the fuck?
This motherfucker.
He's walking out like, they don't know. I didn't know shit. I gave up.
I didn't even write my name.
That's always the thing when someone walks. I was always like, damn, are they smart as shit or are they dumb as fuck? I can't tell.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Watching Netflix without using ExpressVPN is like going to the arcade but only playing one game.
What? That sounds like an absolute waste. Why would you ruin your potential like that?
Exactly.
Well, slander aside of my character Garnt, luckily for ExpressVPN, you can access all of the different content libraries that are outside of your own country on services such as Netflix.
You can control where you want Netflix or other streaming websites to think you're located. For example, I wanted to watch a particular show that that was only available on the US Netflix. But I live in Japan. How do I watch it? I flick on ExpressVPN, turn it over to the US, and boom, everything in US Netflix open for me to consume. Plus, you can stream in HD with zero buffering, and it's compatible on all of your devices. I'm talking phones, laptops, media consoles, smart TVs, and a whole lot more.
And you can gain access to thousands of new shows, which also works with other streaming services such as BBC iPlayer, YouTube, and more, gentlemen. Wow, I am so glad that I left that recording session to come home and install ExpressVPN because it was so easy. So be smart and stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Don't forget to use our link at expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Get an extra 3 months for ExpressVPN for free.
But I guess I also realize now, I definitely do not enjoy driving. I am not a.
Oh, really?
What?
I am not a driver. Like I thought, you know, this would be the big test because me driving in America, I had to like drive to Lake Tahoe, which was a pleasant drive.
How long was that drive?
Like 4 hours.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's actually, so that's an average
Average
American.
American.
No, I mean that's short. That's short for
Rich,
America.
like, only 4 hours? All right, I'll see you there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Lake Tahoe was a very, very beautiful area. That kind of area is very beautiful. And, you know, I kind of like...
Wait, what car did you rent?
I rented an SUV, not a fucking Jeep or whatever. Yeah. It wasn't a massive Jeep, just a normal SUV.
You get like a nice... I just feel like America... I get big car culture a little bit because I'm like, yeah, it feels nice. You got the big room.
Yeah.
Music blaring, AC.
Do you know what I got?
What?
Country music.
No.
As soon as we got to the Lake Tahoe, as soon as we got to like the Lake Tahoe area, the nature, like fucking nature valley everywhere, and Didas was like, put on some country music. I'm like, Didas, I'm not fucking putting on country music, and he was like, give me the phone, and he put it on, and started off with the classics Country Road, and then started putting on some other stuff I've never heard of, and I'm like, shit.
No,
I kind of get this now. Shit.
Well, I am open to all sorts of music. Country is one that I just cannot
Country
do.
under any other circumstance, I'm like, no, get this shit out of here. But driving on actual country roads in America, I'm like, okay, actually, kind of a vibe. Actually,
Okay, so why didn't you like driving then?
it's just stressful. It's just maybe it's like my.
Wait, but you're like out in the middle of nowhere. What's there to be stressed about?
Yeah,
I get if
what do
you're
you-
in like the middle of the city and there's traffic.
There's no
and shit.
roundabouts. You just go straight on
Yeah.
time.
It's stressful because okay, I think this is like I think this is like an ADHD thing, but I just feel like there are
It might be.
it's the thought of being in a situation where if I fuck up, I die, right? Okay, well, what do you mean? Why is that funny? Wait, why is that funny? Why is that funny?
There's a lot of things that could apply to.
Yeah.
But like,
I think that's half the things you do in life, right? It's just,
no, okay, no. When you're driving,
It's like riding a bicycle. Like if you
yeah,
fuck up,
if I fuck up, I die.
well, no, you're barely ever going fast enough on a bicycle to warrant, okay, if I fuck up, there's a big possibility I could die. Most of the time, if you're on a bicycle, the worst that could happen is that you fall over or something, right?
Yeah, and
die.
you could hit your head in a wrong
You could
angle.
die.
And
Okay,
do you feel that way when you cross the road?
No, okay. When you cross the road,
Like
that's
if I just stop right now and a car hits me, I could die.
no. When you cross the road, that is not comparable to driving a car. When you ride the bike,
there's an amount of risk that you take on daily as a human being, and driving
Yes.
probably gives you a little bit more risk.
Yeah.
yes, and driving. The thing about driving, it is a constant. You have to be like, at least for me, you have to be mentally just on, mentally clicked. Because if you can't just like,
I would hope so.
Yeah. Well, you can't just like, I guess, just zone out when you're driving completely, obviously, hopefully. Otherwise, you put yourself and all your passengers at risk. So for me, I just like being mentally on and being aware of my mirrors and just being aware that, you know, I'm constantly following the road rules, even on like an empty road. It's actually, especially on a country road, because country roads are normally a bit more windier, a bit more control needed. So I'm like, it's just a lot of time where I need to be mentally on for a very long period of time.
Are you the kind of person that hates it when someone is talking to you while you're driving? Like you can't concentrate? Like you can't hold a conversation while you're driving?
No, I would rather someone talk to me.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, really?
But as long as I don't have to talk back, which is why me, which is why me and Sydney.
Well, that's not quite a conversation.
No, okay.
It's like you just Garnt's just like
There's literally no difference to you just listening to a podcast at that point. Like,
Actually, yeah.
you just have a live podcast in your car.
But, which is why I very much enjoy driving with Sydney, because she can talk my ear off, and I'm like, that's interesting. Honey. That's interesting. And that's just like,
Wait, that's great, honey, but I'm not listening.
I am actually. That's the thing. I am actually listening. It's keeping me attentive and aware, but not enough where I need to like put thoughts to a conversation back and everything like that. That's like my perfect drive, you know. But it's just to me, I don't know if this is a me thing. It's just very mentally taxing to be that switched on for that long amount of time, even if it's a very beautiful area I'm driving in.
4 hours is a long drive, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, 4
Americans
hours,
make it look easy, but
I don't know.
to everyone else, that's a long fucking drive.
Yeah, I don't know how Americans do it. But yeah, me driving, I realize, I get like, there's always this small anxiety in me. I don't know if this is me thing. I'm saying this not to you guys. I'm saying this to you guys to be like, there must be someone out there like me, right? There must be someone out there like me.
There definitely is.
Yeah, because
I think there's, we joke about Americans love driving and doing it, but I think I've met a fair amount of Americans who are like, I just wish I didn't have to drive.
Yeah.
Oh, Aki hates it.
Yeah.
But she's like, I have to, because otherwise I can't fucking get anywhere.
Yeah, I would, under any other circumstance, give me the passenger seat every time. If I have the choice of being a passenger or getting the freedom to drive myself, I will choose being a passenger every single time. Because it's just there's this anxiety feeling that I can never get rid of, no matter what, when I'm driving, and that's just that feeling of having to be mentally switched on, no matter what the situation.
Music helps me.
Music helps you drive?
Yeah,
same.
Country music, yeah?
No. I mean, if it's the only thing available, I'll listen to it.
You know, next time, if we ever go to an America trip where we go out to the wilderness, I swear to God, try it out. You might discover something about yourself. Because
I've heard a couple of bangers, but like I don't think I could sit for like an entire 4-hour road trip just listening to country music.
It's about the vibe. You know, sometimes it's like drifting and Eurobeat, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just find a situation or an environment where you put on the right track and then suddenly everything just clicks together. You know?
I feel like everyone gets nervous when you're driving and Eurobeat comes on. Everyone's like,
it's like, oh shit.
This is not an invitation. Do not start.
Is it getting faster or is it just me?
You know, sometimes, I mean, that's issue with like every piece of music genre, you know. Sometimes you find the perfect music genre for the perfect vibe, and even if you're not a fan of that genre, you kind of like fuck with it at that particular moment in time. I'm sure there are other moments that I'm like kind of like blanking on right now, but yeah, country music on country roads, suddenly, who knew, actually fucking works.
That is true. Like, depending on what I'm listening to while I'm driving, my mood is completely different. If I never put on like punk music when I'm driving, because I just get so angry. Like every small tiny little thing, like this guy just like slightly deviated into my lane, I'm just like, fuck you.
Do you know what music genre I've kind of like fallen out of though? Kind of, I don't know if it's like fallen out is the right word, but just lo-fi. What is the right mood or what is the right situation to ever put lo-fi on?
It's modern day elevator music.
It is. It's just music.
Yeah.
You know, people just it's good background noise that I think everyone is agreeable on, and that it's not annoying.
It's good homework music. If you're just like sitting at your desk and you just need some kind of noise in the background, like it's just like ambient music. Like it's just noise in the background.
It's just the most inoffensive. I get lo-fi because it's the most inoffensive kind of music you can put on. No one's going to complain about lo-fi except for me right now. I've somehow found a way to complain about it. The reason is every time like me and Sydney have people over to our house.
She always puts lo-fi
Sydney puts lo-fi on, and it's happened enough times now where I'm like, Sydney, why are you putting this on? And she's just like, who's going to complain about lo-fi? And I'm Sydney, I'm complaining about lo-fi. I am, because you do this every single time.
Make the conversation feel like stale.
Yeah,
you feel like it's like I'm bored.
Exactly. Right.
Cut that shit off. Put on some country right now.
I'm just like, Sydney, why?
Put a hype thing on.
Yeah, Sydney, why are you being scared right now? And I'm like, she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, why are you being so scared to put on your own taste of music in music?
Yeah, why?
You know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah,
if
true.
you go around the house and people put lo-fi on, what I think is, why are you scared to show me your actual music taste?
Yeah, true.
Why are you not putting on your actual Spotify playlist here? Come on.
She's gonna get judged.
Yeah. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy.
I know that feel though.
All right. Do you guys have a music playlist to put on when there are people around, or do you just have?
I play the same 5 songs for everything, Garnt.
I actually realized recently, because I was also the guy where I'm just like, I don't want to fucking scare the hose, like showing all these like weird.
Wait, who are the hoes?
Scare the hose.
Wait, who are the hoes?
I don't want to scare the hose with all the weird shit that I listen to privately. So so I was always the dude where I'm just like, everyone likes lo-fi. I'll just put on some lo-fi.
Yeah.
But now I'm just getting to the point where I've listened to so much lo-fi, and I've listened to so much lo-fi in YouTube videos where I'm like, every time I put it on, I just feel like I'm watching a YouTube essay. I just get into the YouTube essay and I'm like, this is kind of boring. I found out though, one playlist that works every time is an 80s playlist.
Yeah,
Like 80s music, like you put on some fucking Michael Jackson, you put on some like, you know, classic like 80s rock, 80s like disco stuff, like, you know, some Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
Banger. Everyone enjoys that.
Yeah, because the thing I realized is, you know, in terms of like, you know, setting the right mood for like a house party or a house gathering or something, you put on lo-fi, no one's going to complain about it, but the music isn't going to bring anything for the vibe.
Exactly.
At all. It's not going to do anything. It's just a silence filler.
Yeah.
That's it. And, you know, sometimes you're feeling brave enough to actually put on your real Spotify playlist. I've noticed, Connor, you're an exception because you're the beeps and boops guys.
Yeah, I just put the same thing on.
Normally,
always.
what I've noticed, people have like 2 levels. They have their surface level Spotify playlist, and then they have their. This is the shit I listen to in private, and no one's gonna know what this playlist is.
Yeah, I definitely have those.
Because I realize unintentionally I have those playlists as well when I've hosted enough parties where I'm like, I wanna put on things that is my taste, but at least are things that I think people will enjoy, you know?
Yeah, you know, that's one thing I hate about like Discord is that like if you're listening to Spotify on your computer, on your Discord, it says like, you know, blah, blah is playing Spotify. And then if you go over to it, you can see what song they're listening to. And I've had so many instances where I'm just like chilling out listening to my real playlist.
Yeah.
And I've had people just messaging me like, what the fuck are you listening to? Like, what is this shit? And I'm like, stop judging me. Get out of my life. This is me time right now. Stay out of it. Don't judge.
I've never felt the need for another playlist. I'm like, who doesn't want to listen to Daft Punk? It always sounds so good.
Connor's that guy who's just like
that's one level above lo-fi.
Whoa.
In terms of you can play it in any situation, people will be like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, like Tame Impala. Like, who's going to listen to like one of those songs and be like, God, I can't stand this. I'm like, no, everyone likes the sound of it
exactly.
in the background. I pick beeps and boops, so I know what sounds good in the background.
Yeah.
Like
Connor's like Connor has 5 songs that he uses for every single occasion, no matter what it is. Yeah. I mean, do you know what was really fun actually was picking my wedding song playlist. That was actually the most fun I've ever had, like making a playlist. Because I don't know.
That was the funny shit.
Walking down the aisle to Berserk.
Okay, that wasn't part of the playlist. That was something that just kind of like clicked into place. I think.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
It's a banger.
It's so Garnt and Sydney.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's. I think if that didn't get meme to fuck,
it'd be a very powerful piece.
It is a very powerful piece, and we decided on that before it became a big meme, I guess.
Yeah.
Before it became a big meme. So it is a very powerful piece.
I still remember when that song came on. I've never seen, because I was sitting next to Mudan at the time. I've never seen anyone do like the slow turn before. Because I was just like, I think I know this song. Mudan's like, yeah, me too. And then the chorus, you know, comes on like the singing, and we both just slowly looked at each other like, is this for real? I'm not imagining this, am I? No, it was epic though. It was. Yeah. I think that was like a great song to pick, regardless of like the meme status.
Yeah, I mean, we picked it for us. We didn't pick it for
it was a great
other
choice.
people.
Great
well,
choice.
You know, it's. I can understand why there was a wide range of emotional responses to it. But, you know, I've noticed this, that, you know, this is just a thing with modern culture in general. Sometimes where there's not only just a piece of music, but just a scene from a movie or TV show that, you know, when it first airs is very hard hitting and is one of like the most culturally, let's say, culturally impactful scenes that have come out. That's going to get memed on to the point where you start to not take it seriously anymore, or you don't have that same emotional response you originally did when you first saw that thing.
That was me with Unravel, bro. Like,
oh my God.
Dude, I hate the internet for ruining that song for me. I cannot listen to that song anymore. When I first watched Tokyo Ghoul, I was like, damn, TK, Rinto shite shige, fucking banger track. Amazing track, perfectly sets the tone for Tokyo Ghoul. Now, every time I hear the chorus, I'm just like,
I just love that like, you could hand me a picture of a white background of like a blob slightly bent at the top to the right, and I think I would immediately recognize it. Yeah. I wouldn't even need to see Kaneki's outline. No. You just show me a black line tilting slightly at the top, and I'd
play that song.
And I'd be like, I know this room.
Do you know the one? Do you know one scene I despise the fact that has been ruined now? Because it's one of my favorite scenes, but it is the One Piece is real. God damn it! When Whitebeard said it, it's such an amazing.
So powerful.
It's so powerful, and now it's been forever ruined. Now it's been forever ruined.
And now every time, just can we get much higher?
Every iconic scene. That means it's a good. If it gets memed, that means it's a good scene.
Yeah.
That means it's stayed in the brains of people, right?
Yeah, but now
that's why like, every fucking Breaking Bad scene is still memed to this day.
But have you ever like rewatched, not like watched for the first time, but rewatched a scene that, you know, has hit you originally, but has been reinterpreted with like meme culture, and you just can't take it seriously anymore? Because I'm afraid to rewatch One Piece because that scene was like so impactful for me, and now I know that when that scene comes along, I cannot see that scene without seeing Whitebeard's cock, like right there, like right there. It's just right there. It's just his fat fucking cock as he says it, and I'm like, fuck you,
I feel
internet.
I'm gonna have that if I ever rewatch Dragon Ball. I'm gonna have that exact same experience of when I see the could you repeat that scene?
You're gonna have to explain this to people who don't get that reference.
The what?
The fucking
could you repeat that?
Goku with his cock out.
He has his cock out, but you can only see like the cut of like his.
What is this even in reference to?
When he turns Ultra Instinct.
It's the first time he turns Ultra Instinct, and it's a powerful scene in the show. But now I can't see that scene anymore with just thinking of could you repeat that?
Fucking stupid.
I had that exact same thing. I think I've talked about this on Trash Days before, but the first time I watched Invincible, because I'd seen so many fucking memes about it, right? Like it was mean to shit.
Mark,
yeah, the Mark one, and like, you know, pretty much all the scenes from the last episode. And I was like, all right, fine. You know, these memes have intrigued me. And you know, you boys have been saying how good it was, so I'll give it a watch. And I watched it, and I got to that last episode, and you know, the scenes of the fucking think Mark, think, like that scene came up, and I'm like,
it's actually think Mark. There's not a second thing.
Okay, whatever.
That's the Mandela effect.
That's the Mandela effect right there. But I got to that scene, and I'm like, okay, I understand this is a very powerful scene, right?
Yeah.
But it's just been ruined for me because of all the memes, and I hate that.
What are the shows? Like The Boiis. The Boiis has so many memes.
Oh yeah.
Homelander.
Oh
The
yeah.
Homeland, the perfect.
Homelander reaction images are like all over the fucking internet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because I haven't rewatched Breaking Bad since it had its
my
like
God.
re-emergence of memes. I wonder what it would be like re-experiencing Breaking Bad now.
I watched it like a year ago, and it still holds up.
I've
still holds
still
up?
Doesn't
never
change
seen it.
anything.
Okay.
I've still never seen
What the fuck
it.
is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Listen, you should know how good it is by the amount it still gets memed.
But that's
Like
the thing.
that should tell you how fucking good.
But see,
show
this is the problem. I'm just satisfied with the memes now. Like I'm just like I love all these memes, even if I've never seen the show, and it's just great. Like I'm just satisfied with the memes. I don't have to watch the
Isn't
show.
it insane that it's still being memed as much as it is?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't like we've never had this in meme history. We've never had something memed this hard.
Yeah.
Like it's so
true, yeah.
that fucking image of Walter, like they change all the time, but the one now where it's Walter in the car screaming no.
Yeah.
I saw one where there's a cyberpunk post, and they were like, and one of the links was like CP, and it was like There was the reaction. Someone quote retweeted it with Walter screaming, "No, don't abbreviate Cyberpunk to CP. No, don't do it."
That's so good.
There's so many fucking good memes.
Oh my god.
No, there's so many good fucking Breaking Bad memes. They're so good.
I know.
Yeah.
This episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by CashApp. Boys, do you know what I love?
What do you love?
The feeling of leveling up.
Hell
Either
yeah.
in life or in my personal skill sets.
Talk to 'em.
And what is more important than leveling up your financial ability, guys?
All it takes to pay someone is their phone number, email, or cash tag. You can even scan their QR code straight from the app, and you'll see your balance updated immediately, so you always know when a payment went through.
Also, security's top notch over at CashApp. From security locks to data encryption, CashApp uses advanced features to keep you and your money safe. You can also browse topics, find resources, or chat with a human. CashApp support has answers to all of your questions. And don't forget that you can save on everyday spending, gamers. Get exclusive discounts with CashApp Pay and CashApp Card. Damn. So you can bank the way you want. A faster, simpler way to bank without so many fees.
So if you want to level up your life, you gotta level up your money. You can download CashApp in the link in the description. It's available on Google Play Store and the App Store.
With no hidden fees and a free-to-order debit card, it feels like a cheat code for your finances.
Back to the video.
Or I guess while we're on the topic of memes, people need to stop fucking memeing films with cam rips. I don't know. Like there have like recently.
You seen this? Where?
What do you mean?
So I because I'm really excited to watch. Is it Enter the Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse?
No, the second Spider-Verse film.
The second Spider-Verse film.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of plot points of that have already been ruined for me because people have posted like cam rip memes. And for some reason, YouTube has decided it's a really nice, you know, I've obviously put interest in it. YouTube has just recommended me a bunch of shit. And I'm like, okay, I understand like memeing stuff, but like cam rips? Really? Why are people watching cam rips?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Come on. You know.
No, that's not cool.
Yeah, I don't know why a single person would ever watch a cam rip. Why would
It's actually unbearable.
yeah.
I think I would rather you just ruining any film that you would want to watch. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I remember I used to when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't know any better.
So I was like, man, I can watch the Miley Cyrus movie. Let's go.
in 1P.
Okay, Miley Cyrus.
that was back when I think, you know, streaming even like 720p was like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Everything was normally 480.
And the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it was like, you know, you'd get, normally all the films would be ripped in 480p. And it
Yeah.
was like, well, a cam rip, you may as well just throw another wood in the fire. I don't know. It's already shit.
Yeah, and now we're like, now Apple has just announced Apple Vision or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And,
I just...
Well, actually, quite a while ago, but I mean, yeah, it looked fucking weird.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just saw the Marcus Brownlee video on that yesterday.
Yeah.
Finally, of him like reviewing it, and
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you boys think about it?
are we okay? First, are we sold on VR or AR yet? I don't know if I'm sold on it yet. You know,
What do you mean?
I don't know because so I've been trying out like some VR like a little bit more recently, not too much, just like surface level stuff. You know, like stuff like VR chat and played around with that a bit, and I'm like, I don't know. I get it, but I cannot ever see myself committing to it. You know, it's just uncomfortable. End of the day, it's just uncomfortable.
Right.
I think it's hard to say because we don't know where it's going to be in 10 years or
True,
20
true.
years. I mean, it looks promising, but it also looks dystopian as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a...
It reminds me of when like Google Glass first came out.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you realize how far ahead of the curve Google Glass was.
Yeah.
It's so far ahead of what anything that it should have been.
Yeah.
And it looked good. And, you know, Apple are generally... I don't buy Apple products.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're pretty reliable with making pretty innovative stuff. Or
Yeah.
it might be an expensive piece of tech that you're like, cool, this was fun. Never going to use this.
I mean, it's $3.5 grand. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the average person is not going to be buying this.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, because there's been like a lot of
It's going
let's
to change
say,
the porn game, that's for sure.
I mean
yeah.
that already exists, you know,
But
VR.
better.
In 4K.
There is one use for the new Apple. You can spend $3,500 to watch porn in 8K.
Porn people are great at adopting new technology.
Funny enough, they're the biggest innovators when it comes to like digital media. I feel like if you want to see what updates YouTube is going to implement in like 2 years. Just go to Pornhub and you're like, Pornhub did this like 2 years ago, right?
They're on that VR game before YouTube was.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there have been like tech in the past that has gotten a lot of hype that has just like for one reason or another like never caught on, right? I think like the one that comes off of the top of my head is like segways, you know.
Wait. Okay, what's the context? Okay,
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I was expecting 500. Explain your thought process.
Explain my thought process.
Yeah.
You know, when the Segway got announced, there was a lot of hype that it was going to revolutionize street travel. You know, it's
what?
Yeah,
Americans will literally do anything not to walk.
And then, you know, look where the Segway got now. You know, it just turned out to be a failure of epic proportions.
I mean, it killed its creator. So.
Yeah. I mean, it killed its creator.
He died from a Segway.
And you know, there was a lot of hype around, let's say, e-scooters, and you know, it's arguable whether they've taken on or, you know, whether...
I mean, it's taken on more than the Segway, that's for sure.
It has taken on more. I
think the form factor of the scooter helps a lot. I mean, the Segway isn't huge, but when you think about storing, the scooter is way more manageable.
Yeah.
Also, there's just something about a Segway. For the longest time, I looked at it and I'm just like, you just kind of look like a tool.
Yeah.
Riding one. And I can't explain why.
And it always comes back to everyone.
Well, okay, it's interesting though. Why do you think that? Do you think...
Because you're like T-posing, basically. you look like a fucking idiot.
It's like, now I must go to work. Goodbye.
You're essentially like T-posing and you look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like when you ride a Segway, you look dumb.
Yeah, I mean...
You can't look cool riding a Segway.
I totally agree with you, because I do think you look dumb riding a Segway. But, you know, we've all ridden Segways. Actually pretty fun. Surprisingly, actually
super
pretty fun. But I'm wondering, because my first experiences with something like a Segway was just seeing it in like dumb pieces of media. Like seeing it in a random YouTube video as like a, you know, to parody like The Nerd or something like that. Or in like fucking Paul Mart or like the Mall Cop fucking movie that I can't remember.
Paul
Blart or something like that, and I'm like, okay, Segway, that's dumb and stupid, you know.
I think what was more dumb though was like not even like those kinds of Segways with the handles, but the ones that it's just the feet.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know those ones where you just like step on it and it's just the hoverboards things. Like,
which I don't know, what a shit name.
Yeah. That's another one where I'm just like, you could be the badass motherfucker with like infinite riz. Once you're on a hoverboard, you have lost all the riz. You just look like a tool riding one.
Yeah. So the reason I bring these up, like the hoverboard as well, which is just like, you know, I feel like
went very quickly.
It was kind of like a fad, a trend, you know, and I'm like, both of these to me tried to solve a problem that didn't really exist, you know? Yeah. It's like Segway solved the problem of transport for whomst, you know? You know, for who?
Mall cops, actually.
Yeah, mall cops. Yeah.
You kind of realize after you use a Segway, and I guess the inherent ability that I guess Segway has above other, I guess, transport methods.
Yeah.
Indoors, it's pretty good in like spaces like malls or
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's a bike.
Golf courses, you know, that would be really good for golf courses.
There's golf carts.
There's golf carts.
You need to carry your clubs.
That's true.
And then you kind of realize, oh wait, e-bikes are just better than Segways because it's more stable. You can have a basket. You can, you know, they have
it's
more
natural as well.
Yeah.
You sitting down, it's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
You kind of realize, and there's a lot of infrastructure already for bike parking.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, oh, e-bikes are just a better version of
what Segways tried to be, I guess.
Yeah, e-bikes are good. I mean, we've ridden e-bikes, you know, whenever I've ridden on my friends' e-bikes as well. They're very, very good.
Yeah. And, you know, okay, so I guess going back to like Apple Vision. Okay. Looks-wise. Looks ridiculous. All right, you
the fact that you can see the eyes on the other side just makes you look like a fucking cyborg. It's just like,
I'm like, if Apple can't make it look cool, there ain't no way anyone's gonna look cool wearing VR.
The eyes thing. So fucking weird.
But it's like, because the way that they do it is that like it's not actually the eyes. It's not like a transparent screen where like you can just see the person's eyes. It's a reflection, or I guess an image of what the inside camera views your eyes as. That's been projected onto it.
Yeah.
So it just enlarges your eyes. So you just look like an insect.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that sounds fun.
And the biggest thing I thought, and because I haven't tried out the Apple Vision yet, none of us have, obviously.
No.
Only Marcus has.
Yeah.
We are not.
We are not tech
tech experts.
We
YouTubers.
would
Yeah.
not be allowed to go.
Yeah.
Do that.
But like, what is like with AR and like VR tech in general? Like, what problem are we trying to solve here? What are we?
I think it's like trying to offer, especially with AR, it's like trying to offer more ways to interact with an environment. Or like, let's say you had like, I don't know, you could, if you were like a 3D modeler or an architect, right? Like, it's like, oh, come to the architect office, put on these goggles. Look right there. We've got this 3D design of this building. You can kind of interact with it. It gives you another layer of like kind of presenting. I'm sure that's what people said about.
Yeah, but
like,
that's like, okay, what you described is such a specific
that-
situation.
I mean,
right?
think about it with like a computer back in the day. They probably
Yeah.
had the same argument where they're like,
Yeah.
adding up numbers, that's so specific. I can add it just fine with the fucking bead thing. What are they called? The what?
The abacus.
Yeah, the abacus. Like, we got an abacus right here, bro. We don't need that. Like, I think it's, again, with technology like this, I think it's more about like trying to find a use for it right away is not the correct way of looking at technology.
Yeah.
It's like, let's make it.
Let's make the tool.
People
and
will
then-
figure out how to.
I
to
guarantee,
utilize it.
like, when it comes to the Apple Vision, it was probably just a bunch of, like, tech heads who, like, watched Iron Man and saw Jarvis and was just like, that looks cool.
Yeah, but like,
I want to do this.
Yeah.
I think there is this like, it's, it's also presumably if this does work, because apparently it's just you click like this, right?
Yeah.
That's way more accessible in terms of technology than if, what if you're a person who has very limited movement in your hands for some reason?
Yeah.
Using a smartphone can be difficult. People use, some people who are quite disabled have pens in their mouth, or they have some other solution, or text to speech, whatever.
Yeah.
There's always more ways of using technology, interacting with it. Also, I guess, the fact that you could just have a display that is like your entire vision, like if you could watch a movie in 4K, that sounds kind of sick.
It's literally a HUD.
It
It's like
sounds
a
kind of
heads-up
cool.
display,
Like if
yeah.
you just have your entire vision taken up for it. But again,
Yeah.
it's like, how will it actually work in
For me, it's like the comfort thing. Would I ever choose to watch a movie in like with a big fucking
absolutely fucking
heavy
not. I do not want to.
headset?
I think it's like the death of cinema. In a
Yeah.
weird way.
Would
Like,
I ever choose to watch it? Probably not, because even just playing around in VR for like a few hours, I'm like, I need to take this off. I'm like sweaty.
I've tried watching a movie on my VR headset because I was just curious.
fuck?
I was just curious. I was like, okay, like they fucking advertise that like you can watch movies in VR and it's like you're actually in the cinema. I'm like, all right, let me try this. So I tried it with my VR headset. I have an Oculus 2. So I tried it with the Oculus 2. 30 minutes in, I'm just like, I can't see anything because the sweat is just like coming over my eyes, and my eyes are just burning from like staring at this screen that's
Yeah.
right here. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
I think also as well, could be a benefit in, obviously right now that price point is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But down the line, it'll probably get cheaper as new technology comes out.
Yeah.
And
Oh, of course,
competition.
yeah.
Like, if this could be like a all-in-one replacement for a PC, TV, phone even, that could be quite promising, and it could give, that technology could be more accessible to people and allow people.
I mean, it's
to
first generation tech, right?
It
So
is.
I
It
think
is.
right now it's more
you
so
have
like,
to kind of figure it out from there.
I personally, it freaks me out, and I'm not a big fan of it. But I think kind of being against the idea of progressing it is kind of, I guess, it's not helpful, right? And also,
Yeah, it's
never-
not helpful, but I guess to play devil's advocate
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
fair, yeah, that's
To play devil's advocate, like one thing that I've come to despise within the past 5 years is the whole tech bro culture. Like bro, like adopting tech, NFTs, crypto. This is new
No, no,
technology.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not about the tools, man.
it's not
about,
a fad, mom. I swear.
Yeah. So it's like because of this, it's kind of like giving me a more critical eye whenever a new piece of tech gets announced to be like, do we actually need this?
Well, yeah, because it's like,
Is this going to be a fad? Like
kind
one
of
other things?
liking tech in like 2018, 2019 was kind of like becoming kind of trendy.
Yeah.
Being up to date.
Yeah.
And then NFTs came out and Bitcoin blew up and all that stuff, and I was like, oh man, we should go back to bullying. NFTs made me actually think there are benefits to being
Yeah,
bullied.
which is not to say that Apple Vision is on the
kidding,
same
I'm
level
kidding,
as
I'm kidding,
NFTs or like fucking crypto or whatever. But it does make me think: could I ever see this? Google Glasses, like you said, was way ahead of its time, but it still did not take off, right?
Well, no, because
yeah.
it was shit. And
It was too ahead of its
also,
time.
like, I think people just don't want people walking around with cameras on their face the entire time.
Yeah.
I think that freaks people out. Like
You look like a spy.
yeah. I mean, I know I do those IRL streams. So people look when you use a camera. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be buying the Vision Pro thing,
no.
but like
No.
I am curious to see where this tech is going to go.
And again, with tech, more often than not, the first one is always by far shit.
Yeah.
So just wait for it to.
Yeah,
have
it'd be
2 or 3
fascinating to see
generations.
like how it's going to evolve in like the next 5-10 years, right?
It's like foldable phones, right?
Yeah.
No one fucking knew the foldable phone, but they're like, it sounds kind of cool.
That's
And-
an option.
And like, right, like the first 2 generations, I think were kind of and then I'm hoping 3rd, 4th generation foldable phones will actually be really good.
Foldable smartphones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What did you think I meant?
Like a regular,
like
regular
flip
Motorola
phones.
Razr. Like,
Sorry, that's the boomer in me talking right
that's
now.
flip phones. These are foldable phones. It's different. It's not
Okay,
a
I
flip.
still don't understand.
we are not the same.
Okay, I don't understand foldable phones though.
I love the idea of having a phone and then being able to turn it into like a pseudo kind of tablet on the go. Because I have an iPad. I don't use it. I have not used it at once
Right.
because I'm too lazy to carry it. Because I'm just like, I'll just watch it on my phone. But I would love the idea of like, if I'm watching anime, I'm like 2 of these. That'd be nice.
What I can't get over, because I've seen people, I've seen Didus has one.
Yeah, Didus has one.
And I'm like, I can't get over the crease.
Well, that's the idea, right? Is that
Yeah.
hopefully in a generation or 2, the crease will get better.
Yeah.
But apparently you just live with it.
You just live with it.
I guess so.
Like mesothelioma or whatever that is in America that every ad tells you about on TV.
The what?
What?
You know?
What?
You know, in America, when you put the TV on, and it's like, have you or a loved one suffered from mesothelioma? call the lawyer. I mean, you know, seen these ads?
Yeah, the
Every
drug
goddamn
ads, right?
And well, there's that too. But every goddamn thing is like a lawyer ad, and it's like, it's like, have you or a loved one been affected by mesothelioma? Well, let me see what the actual word is.
I've never heard of that.
Yes, you have.
Before.
Yes, you have.
Mesothelioma? That doesn't even sound like, that sounds like a mythical creature.
Mesothelioma, a type of cancer that develops in the lining that covers the outer surface. What triggers it?
Wait, hold on.
asbestos. Yeah, because a bunch of houses were built with asbestos. So
Oh.
Okay.
So yeah. So if you have it, you should
Yeah.
call a lawyer. And
So
don't
wait,
worry.
what does that have to
mean-
do with flip phones?
What's
What's the connection?
what was the
Yeah, actually, what did that have to do with flip phones?
Don't know.
I just remember this thing. I wanted to share it with you guys, you know?
I don't know why. Okay, carry on.
I don't know. I don't know where you're going with that.
That is flip phone.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, because apparently you just live with it. I guess.
Do I have something in my teeth? It's driving me crazy.
No.
No.
Okay, carry on.
All
Sorry.
right. When was the last time you flossed?
I don't floss.
You don't floss?
I don't
No,
floss either.
I don't floss.
Okay.
Flossing is a conspiracy by big American dental associate. I am just. I know that you should floss.
Yeah.
I know that it's beneficial. I just
I can't
don't,
be fucked.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like brushing my teeth and mouthwash is enough. Mentally, I don't know if it is. I just do you floss every day?
I don't floss every day.
I hate the feeling of flossing.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
It feels like a torture method.
It feels
on
like
my
I'm
teeth.
cutting into my teeth and gums. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
I floss every now and again. I actually like the feeling. I don't know why. Because apparently, when it starts bleeding and everything, that's like a good thing, right?
well, it's, yeah, because you're kind of getting all the gunk out, right?
Yeah, you're getting all the gunk out. I don't know. It's just
What if I just leave the gunk there?
That's on you, bro. You should call up a lawyer.
Yeah, there is
mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma.
I don't know, there is something satisfying about leaving. You're supposed to go to the dentist like once every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, they've been emailing.
I don't know a single Brit who goes to the dentist once every 6 months. Which is,
Why?
That's where the meme started.
yeah, this is where the meme started, right? But there is something satisfying about the feeling of like you're, getting your teeth cleaned and getting all the gunk out between your teeth. It's just satisfying.
It is
I
satisfying.
hate the fucking it's not a drill or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. That's that
The
high
super
pitch.
high pressure water thing.
Dude, I hate it. It hurts my ears so much.
Yeah.
I think the dentist is. The older I've gotten, the more I've appreciated people who are afraid of the dentist. I've begun to really despise going.
Yeah.
Not because there's anything wrong with my teeth, but just because I just hate the whole process.
Yeah,
But I hate hospitals and dentists. I hate them. Both of them I really despise.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you have like some buried trauma in there somewhere, which we're gonna
don't know.
uncover one day on Trash Taste if we talk about this enough.
Fuck, I don't know. Just the thought of someone operating on me is terrifying.
Did you ever have like a cavity growing up?
Yeah, one cavity. Remember, I had a mercury one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and I
right.
And then
Yeah.
in Japan they fixed it. They were
Yeah.
like, let's get rid of that.
That's gonna give you misthemia.
Dude, you were a lot
Probably call a lawyer.
I know many from
Yeah.
ads.
I mean, those aren't even the American ads that like confuse me the most. Do you know what the American ads that I find
Dude,
like
it's wild, some of them.
like I find the wildest?
The medicine.
The
ads?
medicine
Not the
ones?
medicine ones, the political ones.
Oh,
I do not understand.
John Johnson wants to keep rapists out of prison in your home. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they start off with that, and also he wants to raise the taxes. And they always start with that, and then they end off with the taxes afterwards.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
and he wants to raise taxes as well, but also
It's-
rapists out of prisons. What can I say, guys?
Deborah Jones wants to teach her kids to be gay. Don't vote for Deborah Jones. Vote for John Johnson. And it's like, what the fuck? Well, this is unhinged.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I remember on tour when we had that like TV going on in the bus the entire time, just like 24/7, just some random
love that.
fucking
Yeah.
show.
So cool having a TV on a bus.
Yeah, that was epic. But like, I remember every like third or fourth ad was just this like, like, are you suffering from depression?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
try out glimaclobia.
Yeah, and then it's like side effects may include.
Side effects may include side effects may include diarrhea, bleeding anus,
Dude, it's
pregnancy.
insane.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, I always, because my only exposure to those ads growing up was like through, I guess, like YouTube parodies and shit like
Yeah,
that.
I always thought they weren't real.
Yeah.
And then the first time I was in America and I saw that ad, I remember I looked at Aki and I'm like, these are real? I thought they were just parodies.
I literally thought they were just parodies you'd see every now and again on the
buying
internet.
this? It's like, this thing will give me diarrhea and 6 types of cancer, but hey, at least it whitens my teeth. Like, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
It's very weird. And then I guess there's so many stuff you can get over the counter, which in most of the other countries in the world, you just can't. So it's kind
Yeah.
of crazy. You're like, I can just take melatonin every night and no one's going to tell me that maybe I shouldn't do it. It's like, well, it's on the label. And it's like,
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of drugs that you can't like fly with, even if you're prescribed with them in America. I mean, if you come to Japan, don't bring your Adderall prescription because Adderall is
you're in trouble.
Adderall is
Same with
illegal here.
melatonin as well.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that reminds me. I've been speaking about Japan because that's a place we live at.
Yeah.
I've been following a lot of the Japan Reddits thing, just reading up what's happening.
Yeah.
And
Japan Reddit.
Yeah,
Like the news Reddits
there's
and
loads of
stuff?
Japan Reddit focused ones. People,
Oh,
people who
okay.
live in Japan, people who visiting Japan,
Yeah.
news in
Right.
Japan, and obviously there's been a lot of weird shit happening. But there was like obviously there was that video of that guy that you covered. When everyone was trying to like fucking harass him, but
the IRL streamer.
yeah. And luckily he's left now.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, he's
Oh, finally.
and there was a thing that I found bizarre is that there was like all these American news stations and people online posting being like, oh, there's an American missing in Japan and no one heard
saw
anything.
that.
Yeah, and then I think the police just, again, at the time of recording, it was like the police just detained, I think, them and just didn't tell the governments. And when the government asked, they were like, we're not going to tell you yet.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they just wouldn't. That's what they assume because the
Yeah.
police won't look for them.
Yeah.
but they won't tell them where they are. So
Right.
everyone's just assuming that they're detained.
Okay.
It's so bizarre. Yeah, that you could get detained and then.
Is that even legal?
I think it is in Japan. I mean, you follow the country's laws, and there's so many other stuff. So many interesting things. Like there was this thing where this dude on one of the Reddits, he was walking home on one day, and this dude was cycling, and I guess he nearly bumped into the guy and then swerved off, hit a pole, and then died when he hit the pole.
Jesus.
And then this whole subreddit was accounting about how the wife of the dead husband was like harassing the dude's house, asking for like money.
Yeah.
being like, what the fuck, you killed my husband and stuff, and the police weren't doing anything, and then eventually the police did something after.
How hard did he hit that fucking pole?
That's what I was wondering.
Jesus
Imagine you're just chilling and a dude dies right next to you. You're like, what the fuck? Dude, I gotta wreck my head.
See, Garnt, cycling is dangerous.
Yeah.
You can die whenever on a bike as well.
Just so many strange things people are encountering.
Yeah, because I do a lot of like that kind of like weird Japan news stuff
must
on the
look
second
at
channel. I have a lot of those. One that hasn't been released yet as of this video that I thought was funny was Anno Hideaki, you know, the creator of Evangelion. He got doxed the other day.
Are you serious?
Who doxed him?
Some random fan at a gas station.
What?
So the story goes is that hopefully that video will be up by the time this episode's up. But like, basically, Anno was just like, I'm just gonna go for a drive. Oh, I gotta go fill up some gas. So he just goes to his local gas station, fills it up. The guy who was at the cash register was like, "Oh my god, you're fucking Anno Hideaki. I love everything you do." And he wanted to brag about it on Twitter that he met Anno Hideaki. So what he does is, instead of just doing a standard tweet of just saying like, I met Anno Hideaki, he was at my gas station, it was awesome, he took a picture of his receipt.
No.
And put it up, being like, see? Even his signature is right there. But the problem was that all of his credit card information,
Oh my god.
his car registration, even where the gas station was just all there. And people were like, you should probably delete that.
Bro was losing his job and more.
Oh, he lost his job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
That's the
probably
minimum
more.
of what's
Actually,
happening.
the gas station company, I think it's Eneos,
Yeah,
had to make a public apology, being like, we're sorry that our employee had a massive fuck up.
Oh my god.
That is someone getting sued, and
Yeah.
rightly so.
Yeah, rightly so.
That is all of your private information that, you know,
And amidst all the backlash he got, right, of people being like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
He was just like, the only defense he made was like, no, I swear, it was the real Anno. And people were like, that's not what we're asking. We didn't, like, yeah, we know. We see his fucking signature and all of his private information. We're not questioning whether it was really Anno. Like, we know. We know the last 4 digits of his credit card now because you fucking posted it.
yeah.
I guess he's just out there then.
He's just out there.
Yeah.
So now people have like starting to figure out like whereabouts he lives
Oh
and
my
shit. And it's just
God.
like all because of this dumbass.
Oh my
It's just,
god.
just dumb shit like that. And
Yeah.
police probably not doing anything about it.
I mean,
Unless something horrible happens, which God forbid it
that's
doesn't.
like when TSA when they recognize us and I just handed them my passport. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, motherfucker, you could just memorize this and post about it or something. I know that they wouldn't, but you're like,
oh my god.
Oh, I had that the other day actually at like my local conbini.
Oh yeah.
Like I have a conbini really close to my house. I'm not gonna say which one, obviously, but like I went there. It was like at 11 p.m.
Family Mart.
Yeah.
One of the 3. I went there like 11 p.m. I was just like, I was in my pajamas because I was getting ready for bed. I just wanted to go get something. And I went, give the guy, all my stuff. And I'm just looking down at my phone, waiting for them to finish. And I just hear, oh my God. And I look up and the dude behind the counter is like, you're the anime man.
Oh, my God.
And in my head, I'm like, rip, I have to move now. Because he spoke English. I think he was like Indian or Saudi or something, right?
okay.
Yeah.
So, and he seemed like a really nice guy.
Or Saudi. How
Yeah.
did you narrow it down?
He was a brown boy.
Okay.
He was a brown boy. But he was chill about it, thankfully. But in my head, I'm just like, don't you dare follow me out afterwards, after this purchase, because I'm literally right there.
Oh, no.
Have you ever had that? Like,
Yes.
someone recognizing you really close to your house?
Yes.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
It
Every
is-
single time.
I actually there's this one time where it happened literally on my street.
Whew.
And
Wait, your street?
Huh?
Your street is not near much for the tourist stuff.
that's the thing, right? So I was walking.
Same with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was walking to my apartment, and I was on my street, and I got recognized, and my house is really close. And just to make sure, I walked like 3 blocks extra down, and then turned around and walked back because I was like, I ain't taking this risk right now, man. This is something new I'm experiencing now. I feel very vulnerable. Yeah. But yeah, it is weird. Yeah, but has that ever happened to you as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair amount.
Yeah.
But I'm just paranoid. Whenever I see another white person near my house, I'm like,
It's like there's a chance.
I like try to make eye contact with them, so I'm like, come on. Like if you're sus, prove it.
Hit me. Hit me.
Do you know me?
Give me the look. Give me the look.
Yeah, give me the look. I'm like, come on. It was just right outside my house because I'm like, I just don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily there's a few entrances, so I could just walk around and then.
It's definitely gotten scarier now that, all the tourists are coming back. Just, I feel like every time I go out now, I'm more aware of just every single like non-Japanese person who walks past me. I'm just like, what? You gonna come up to me now? Are you gonna come up to me? Okay, we good? Okay, we good.
You're very easy to recognize as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I look so white, so I just I can really.
Well, I mean,
you're also very easy to recognize. I think we all are.
Yeah,
because
we all
we're not
are.
Japanese. I mean, half Japanese.
Well, we don't look Japanese. Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it seems like every month now there's like a new video popping up of someone doing something stupid on a live stream or a YouTuber doing something stupid. And I'm like, come on, man. We're working so hard to try to keep the peace here.
I mean, more content for me. So
Joey's like, ooh,
I'm sure
payday today.
Thank you, boys. Your stupidity is paying for my bills. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like,
try my best to be a good boy.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is why like fucking Charlie has so many things to talk about like every single day when he wakes up, right?
I can see now. Yeah. Has it gotten more difficult for you since like all that news and stuff has broken out?
No, I mean, again, the way I've always approached it is that most places we're like, oh, Satsui, you this guy. You just ask them, is it okay if I have the camera? And sometimes they'll just flat out say no, and it's like, if there's a bar that says no, it's not like you'll have difficulty finding another bar.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of the streamers who do it full time, like Rob CD, who streams full time, he goes to the same places and interacts with them, and they're very understanding. And they're like, yeah, you're cool. I know it's fine. I know you don't feel customers. And there's some bars where they love it. So it's kind of just about finding those spots and not shoving in a camera in someone's face who doesn't want it. Not being a dick IRL is super easy.
Tell that to these other dickheads.
But a lot of people make it look fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Like you just think you're gonna become like some kind of monster when you're streaming outside.
Yeah.
But like it's very easy to just not be a dick.
I will admit that every time I have seen like news of just like some dumbass IRL streamer in Japan, making
it's always somebody who's just turning up. Like it's never someone who lives here.
But I always worry for people like you and Rob that if this shit keeps persisting, then it's just gonna put a bad name on IRLing.
For sure. It's definitely a worry because it's like. I think it's such a good content.
It's great content type if the person doing it is if it's done right. Exactly.
And there's so much interesting stuff you can do in Japan, and it's so cool that you can do it. And luckily, I think I saw he was doing some kind of. There was a guy visiting who was blaring like music in Disneyland and saying racist things.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
The kick streamer, right?
Yeah. Well, and stuff like that's bad because like I mean you can't stream in Disneyland anyway. So you shouldn't be able to do that. But you worried that other businesses will be like flat out like no. But luckily in Japan, a lot of the cool stuff anyway are not giant conglomerates. It's like it's just local stores that you can just be like, hey, is it cool if I won't film any customers? I'm just gonna do my own thing, and that's where a lot of the best stuff is anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. But it's more so the perception. Like people will be a lot more kind of.
I feel Japan especially and Japanese people are very easily convinced and I guess like indoctrinated by looking at negative media surrounding things like streaming and YouTubing and stuff like that, and think like, oh well, if this one dickhead did it, then they all must be like this, right? And that's the problem with them just being uneducated on the medium. But it's like. You can't really blame them either because only the bad shit gets published, and then that just reflects on all the other people like us who are just trying to make videos and stream and make it an honest living. And I'm just worried that like it's people like that are gonna ruin it for the rest of us.
Well, yeah, it sucks that one guy going around Disneyland shouting racist things would get 10 times more media attention than if I did like a cyclothon and raised like $10 million for charity.
Exactly.
In the Japanese lens of things.
I mean, that's just true.
I think that's just in general.
I think that's just in general.
I know. I think a little bit online, at least not so much for traditional media, but at least online, people are pretty good at hyping up good events and
for sure
talking about them. I mean, they very much love negative stuff too. But you know, you just gotta hope that for every one brick you can add, someone doesn't tear down 100.
I mean, it's difficult because I think it's difficult to promote something positive in the sea of negativity, because I'm surprised you said the online space, because I think the online space is the biggest space that's kind of like accentuates
negativity thrives.
Like negativity. And I think that's just human nature. I think it's just human nature in general. You know,
we love spilling the tea, bro.
Yeah.
I think it feels like negativity is weighed a lot more, and it most certainly is. But I find that like the longevity of kind of positive things you've done will maybe in the moment not be as big news as something negative. Yeah. But I find that over time people do remember.
They do remember.
And also like I also think that like in terms of for streaming, it kind of needs to have what YouTube has had, where you know in like Japan they have like Hideaki Anno, right? Who's like they're like their PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, whatever you want to compare it. It's like their biggest YouTuber. Having someone like that be the face and who is great for brands and people know is a name brand, want to work with, it really helps kind of establish creators. And I think that streaming just needs more of that. Yeah. It just needs more established creators who work with these brands, work within the rules, do what they say.
Like legitimizes the medium, right?
Yeah. You know, create great content while not compromising, but also keeping the people they're working with happy and making sure that everyone's kind of benefiting.
For sure, yeah.
And I think streaming just needs more of that. I think we've got a few. Just in general.
Yeah.
I think right now we're just streaming just does a lot of the big streamers are just I whether they realize it or not, I think they're just hurting the medium. Even though maybe they're profiting and doing well themselves. I think the overall landscape of it is like not great.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that that's just not in Japan. That's just in general.
In general too, but Japan needs it as well.
Because the thing I've noticed about streamer culture, in general, you know, even if there are people making exciting content, it's just because of the way the medium works, the pure amount of hours that's, you know, the pure amount of content that people produce. A lot of that content revolves around tea and opinions and reactions, you know, and it's, you know, with something like YouTube, it's much more controllable. You can make a certain video. You have someone like Mr. Beast doing all these amazing stuff. And, you know, for every, you know, fucking cyclotron chess boxing event, there is 10 million hours of reacting to stupid TikTokers and drama, you know, and that's just the truth of the matter, you know, unfortunately.
No, it is. It's true.
Yeah.
And you just have to hope that the platform will kind of grow up.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's a good joke.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I feel like YouTube, to its credit, like has matured a lot. Like
100%.
The scene of YouTubers. Like think about, like genuinely, like think about YouTube drama. It is so different now from what it once was. 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Like it's completely changed. And I think streaming will get that over time. Obviously, I think it's a little tougher because it's live. People are more emotional, no editing.
Yeah.
But I think it will mature. I think it's like YouTube. It hit that mainstream. Drama was huge.
Yeah.
And then people realized, hey, maybe this is not so good for business.
Well, okay.
I mean, just look at how often Scarce uploads now. He barely uploads because there's nothing to talk about. But whereas before, 4 or 5 years ago, as you said, it was like every day there was something happening on the YouTube scene.
Yeah. And then a lot of the drama covered by YouTubers often is streaming drama.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think that maybe there'll always be a space for that in streaming because it's more like Big Brother. Yeah. It's more Truman Show. You know, it's going to have that. But I think it will mature. I think it just needs more time.
I mean, I think one of the big things, actually, interestingly enough, is that I think creators themselves, we just grew up. Physically grew up. You know?
And we are the audience that is going to be the next generation of YouTubers will, you know, they'll learn from us.
Yeah.
They'll learn like the way that we do things, and hopefully they'll take their behaviors.
Use it as a good example.
Because there are genuine like YouTubers now who are, let's say, role models, you know, who have been on this platform for like a long time and have like physically grown up. And of course, there's always going to be younger creators, but unlike a platform like TikTok, which is like very, very young right now, there's a lot of people doing like a lot of stupid shit on TikTok. that's just because it's a very young platform and people have not grown up with that platform so much as people have grown up with YouTube.
Also, you know, a lot of streamers, they're one-man armies. Maybe they have an editor or something, or maybe an assistant. But, you know, YouTube, we're at the scale now where I know I can count at least 10 plus YouTubers I know with teams of 10 or more.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, like, these are companies. These are full, like, businesses, and you can't. You don't want to be fucking around with your livelihood of people who work below you, right? So it's more about, you know, I think, again, it's just a maturity thing. I think it's not so much the creators, but it's the platform. And I think streaming will become more mature over time, which will help it. I think we'll, you know, now there's, you know, you can go to certain places and they have guidelines clearly laid out for YouTubers or whatever to how to film something, you know? And I think it'll get there too.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be more etiquette around it. Yeah. I can only hope. I mean, maybe it won't be, and people can play devil's advocate and tell me I'm wrong, I'm stupid, but I'd like to think it'll mature.
Yeah. And I guess we've I'm sensing like an unintentional theme of this podcast so far. We're talking about the future a lot, so I want to bring up gaming, right? Because we talked about tech, we talked about YouTube. All right, I saw this video recently.
That's the title.
Yeah, I was just like, I had the light bulb moment. What do we think the future's gonna be? Okay, so I saw this video of this, I think, game in development right now, which is like on like Unreal 5 or something, and it's so photorealistic. It literally looks...
is it the one with the first person shooter one?
Yeah.
The one what's it called? Were you like killing people in like an abandoned building?
Yeah. That one. That one. Have you seen that one?
Oh.
This episode is brought to you by ShipStation. I am trying to automize everything in my life. I don't want to have to do anything unless I have to do it. That's where ShipStation comes in today.
But Connor, what is there left to min-max in your life? What can ShipStation do for all of us?
Well, Garnt, as you know, I am constantly trying to get rid of the stuff that I win in my crane game videos, and I'm shipping them off to all my viewers, which you can get yourself. But thank God to ShipStation, it becomes easy.
ShipStation makes it easy to automate shipping tasks for orders from every marketplace in one dashboard. There's effortless integration everywhere you sell online, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and a whole lot more. Plus, you can manage every order from one simple dashboard, print shipping labels, easily compare rates and delivery times to optimize every shipment, and automate delivery notifications.
You know what? I don't have a drip company like Joey. That sounds like a headache to set up. But you know what? With ShipStation, it's so easy. And there's a free trial as well in case you don't know if you want to use the service long term.
With industry-leading discounts, you'll never worry about overpaying for shipment. Get up to 84% off USPS and UPS ratings. And if that's not enough, you can use our promo code to try ShipStation free for 2 months.
So what are you waiting for? Spend more time growing your business when you automate shipping tasks with ShipStation. Go to ShipStation.com and use coupon code TRASH today and sign up for your free 60-day trial.
60 days?
That's ShipStation.com, code TRASH.
Thank you very much to ShipStation for sponsoring this episode. Back to the video.
So I just showed Joey the trailer of Unrecord, which is the name of the game in early gameplay. This is official early gameplay trailer. And to me, that does look undistinguishable from real life.
Yeah.
From the trailer alone, at least.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I want this? I don't think I do want this. You know, do I want photorealism in my fucking VR sets, in my, you know, Apple Vision fucking 20, you know? It's
bro, like Serial Experiments Lane was right. Like the real and the digital is like slowly starting to become one.
Yeah.
I think I think one thing that it could help with is maybe training. And I know that some industries do actually use this already.
Yeah.
But like training for like very dangerous kind of jobs and like experience. Like if you're a firefighter, maybe they can do an accurate simulation of what it would look like.
Yeah.
To be in a house on fire.
Oh, that would be very useful.
And I know they essentially just set buildings on fire anyway. For training. But, you know, I think there's a lot of places where it could help. I don't know if shooting someone would help. Do you reckon they'll ever train people with the military? They'll be like, all right.
I think if we're going into, okay, you know, we talk about the dystopian Black Mirror future parody a lot, but the Apple Vision generally does remind me of Black Mirror. Like, genuinely, unironically, looking at the trailer, looking at what Apple have presented.
You know what scene it reminded me of the most in Black Mirror? You know the scene where, I think it's in season 1, where he's having sex with his wife, and he's playing.
Oh
Back,
yeah.
He's
That one.
He's playing back the good sex he had with his wife because the current sex isn't good.
Yeah.
I can just imagine two couples wearing like they like filmed each other having the best sex ever, and they're just reliving that.
Yeah.
Oh.
God.
Yeah. Honey, what's wrong? You haven't put on your Apple Vision today.
Dude, I mean,
It's like I can't get hard without my Apple Vision.
Hold on, honey. I need my Apple Vision to get in the mood. Can you imagine? It's like, hold on. Your wife's lying on bed, and she's like, "Hold on, honey. I gotta get ready." And he comes out with the Apple Vision on his head, and he's like, "Honey, I'm ready."
It's just like I'm not in the mood. My one's still charging. I can't do it tonight. Sorry, babe.
I don't need glasses at all. So the thought of even putting anything on my eyes for more than like 2 hours,
Yeah.
not even like glasses, I'm like, that sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the freedom of my face.
Yeah, exactly. And
Why are you laughing?
Just the
I
way
love
you
the
said
freedom.
the freedom of my
freedom.
face.
I like that, dude. I want a giant screen in front of me. I don't want a giant screen here.
yeah. And I mean, like with like, let's say photorealistic games, it doesn't scare me as much as the idea just makes me uncomfortable, right? Because I always like the feeling of, let's say, any piece of media, gaming, movies, anime, whatever. There's the fourth wall there. There is that
Distinction.
there's that distinction between this is the real world and I get to enjoy whatever the game is allowing me to enjoy in the comfort of the safe space, knowing that it's a virtual world. When I see a gameplay trailer like this, I'm like, this is too real now. I'm like, this is getting to the point where mentally I don't know if my brain can distinguish this from just doing something.
I feel especially if you like ended up playing a game like that on the Apple Vision.
Yeah,
Like, that would be like that would actually be like a real simulation, like some Metal Gear shit. Like,
that would actually be like, oh, violence in video games bad, and all like the mums complaining about it. That would be the time where I would be like, you know what? Actually, maybe I kind of agree.
you know what, Mum, you're right.
Yeah, you know what, Mum? Maybe you have a point.
I wonder if there's ever be a point where like a kid would have to be aware of like two worlds almost, like the real world and the virtual world, because it's so indistinguishable if the technology gets so good, where he's like, okay, that must be so weird to grow up and having two things that look and feel exactly the same, but one of them is totally different. And how do you even process
You
that?
literally just described the plot of Serial Experiments Lane. That is exactly what that talks about.
I haven't seen it.
And they talked about that shit in 1998. Like they saw it, and it's scary to think that it's become, like you said, it's getting to that point where I would look at that, and if you had never told me that was Unreal Engine 5, I would have thought that was like some fucking body cam.
But a kid would have no way of understanding what that is.
Yeah.
If it was, if it was, let's say it's perfect, which it obviously isn't.
Yeah.
But, maybe, it's kind of a cool problem that we're gonna have to deal with in like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the more that exciting new tech comes out,
Our
the more
population is going to decline. So no one is going to fuck anymore. Is what I'm learning.
Japan's
No one is fucking.
Japan's fighting a losing game.
Japan's
man.
ahead of the
Well,
game,
actually,
bro.
Japan is, I think, the highest birth rate in Asia right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Korea is like negative 500,000. It's because they had League.
Yeah, it is.
It's because that was like the one thing that Japan was holding back. They were like, I won't let League in. It won't get popular. We will have babies.
There are more internet cafes than children in Korea, bro.
Japan's like, there is nothing worse than gacha games, and Korea's like, haha, bet. League of Legends.
Holy
League
fuck.
of Legends really is the population control.
That is the dystopian population control. Fucking League of Legends, gacha games, and VTubers. That's
China was like one child policy. Korea was like League of Legends.
No, Korea. I think Korea's birth rate was like 0.5 or something.
Holy fuck.
It's really bad.
Jesus.
Korea's really, really bad right now.
Asia, bro. Fuck no.
Asians. Maybe it's the Asians who need to touch grass.
Yeah, Asians need to fuck, bro. Like, y'all need to go outside and fuck. God damn.
No, because I personally, for me with video games, the more that I've grown up, the more I've just appreciated stylized like the whole like stylized graphics and stylized
Like the
things.
cell shaded stuff,
Oh, I
right?
fucking love, and I don't know if this is definitely a me preference thing, right? Because I've always like I was fine with like the Call of Duty phase, like the real kind of like the real more realistic looking shooters or everything. But I always loved the more, let's say, not cartoonish, but the more like stylized, more
shaded,
expressive.
pixel.
I feel like that's more expressive, you know.
Like Wind Waker, Jet Set Radio type of games,
shit.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
one of
Goated.
I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I've said this, but like I think Metal Slug is just one of those games that has aged so well.
Yeah.
And it looks
It is
amazing.
a work of art today.
They went the work they put into making those sprites. I mean, oh my god, everything about that game is so good.
It is some of the most beautiful explosion sprites I've ever seen in my
It
life.
aged so well.
It's
It aged
so nice.
so well. They went above and beyond.
But I feel that's why, especially in like the indie like game scene, right? Like
Yeah.
those kinds of like 16-bit, 32-bit games are still so popular
I think-
because
yeah.
a lot of people still look at
Yeah.
them being like, you know what? I love how realistic games are becoming, and you know, to the point where it's almost indistinguishable. But there's something charming and special about this like retro look, you know, whatever it might be.
I saw a meme and it was like indie game devs trying to decide what they wanted their game to be, and it was that that guy about to press the button and sweating, and it was like roguelike. Metroidvania or platformer. It's so true. It's like, fuck yeah, I guess, but I guess it makes sense because obviously you can't make giant open worlds as an indie dev. It's kind of tough. Well, maybe you can, but it's obviously a lot harder, and making those other types of game makes more sense. Yeah.
And hey, I hope they never stop doing that because those games are fun as fuck.
I do like them. I do like
And
them.
it's now like every major AAA studio has an apology letter on like speed dial.
Oh
You know?
my God,
It just seems like every time there's a new big release, even though I'm not a gamer, I for some reason I know when a game's released when I see the apology letter, because I didn't know like Star Wars. I didn't know the new Star Wars game was out until I saw the apology letter, and I was like, "Oh, it's out! Oh, okay, I've actually wanted to play that for a while."
you bought it after the apology letter?
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
I saw the reviews and I was just there, and they were like, "Oh, there's a frame rate drop issues and stuff like that," and I'm like, "I don't care about that."
Guy literally did that. I'm not going to read this, but I'm happy for you or sorry for your loss.
You're a monster.
Anyway.
I'm like, people complaining that Zelda doesn't run at like 60 frames a second or something, and I'm like, "What? It's just what happened, man?"
Oh, it came out? I'll see.
Yeah, it's like game out.
Bye.
And it's like, okay, I'll take it.
Oh my
You know, I
God.
mean, like the only time I don't buy if it is like a cyberpunk kind of situation, and that's the thing, right? Obviously, it's bad that cyberpunk released in the condition that it did with as many bugs. But now that I've played it recently, now that I've actually waited a year, it's genuinely a fucking great game. Like it is a great
Yeah,
game.
they just dropped the ball.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that they should get as much time as needed, and gamers should give them the benefit of the doubt if they end up actually fixing the bugs with the games?
Yeah, well, they're releasing they just announced a
They-
DLC.
Yeah, they just announced a DLC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, see, because like this is an interesting point in contexture because it's like, have you seen the latest Nakey Jakey video? Yeah. He made this comparison that I never really thought about that actually made a lot of sense of the whole like thing of, game comes out that's clearly unfinished, people complain, but then when the game developers fix all the glitches and bugs and everything with the DLC, then people are like, well done for fixing your game.
Yeah.
And he made this really cool comparison. It's like, that's like if you went to a Taco Bell and you paid for a full price taco, and what you received at the door was just the taco shell and some lettuce, right? But then a couple of weeks later, guy comes back and gives you the rest of the taco, and your reaction is to applause him. And he's like, that's exactly the same way that people are looking at game developers. And it's like, it's weird that's the only way we kind of view at that point. And the way, when he said that, I was like, you know what? You kind of make a point. Why do we react that way?
Okay. So I
got a big opinion.
All right.
Okay,
go.
yeah.
I'm listening.
Garnt's about that because I did see that video as well.
Yeah.
And I understood where he was coming from, especially with that analogy. Because I think part of the reason, I'm going to answer that question. Part of the reason I think people are happy when people fix the game is because so many game developers don't go back. There's so many EAs out there that release an unfinished product and then just leave it like that and then just never fix it. So when you have those 1 or 2 developers like No Man's Sky or like Cyberpunk that actually come back and actually commit, even though they've already made their money, to fixing the issues, I do think that deserves some kind of praise.
Right.
Like some kind, they deserve some kind of praise. I guess my kind of like, to play like devil's advocate to that kind of argument, which is, why they're releasing an unfinished product, which is like Cyberpunk was never ever going to be released in time at the quality of standards that people expected it to be.
Yeah, of course.
And people,
the expectations were too high.
The expectations were way too high. So the argument is, would you wait a year? Because this is what
I think Cyberpunk needed more than a year.
I waited a year and I played it at when I experienced Cyberpunk, I experienced like almost 0 bugs, like nothing game breaking, nothing. It didn't crash once. There was no like game breaking or immersion breaking glitches.
I had some bad bugs. And I would just drop through the floor and die. It was like bad.
God damn.
Yeah. So I never experienced like any of that, and that was me waiting like a year to play Cyberpunk because I really wanted to play Cyberpunk. And so monk mode, I was like, I'll be patient. But unfortunately, from what I can see, people just aren't patient,
No. Yeah, I definitely agree. People are not, because people always want to play the latest and best game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of those games do not live up to the hype.
Yeah.
And I was sort of talking about this on stream the other day. I was like, I've enjoyed gaming so much more when I stopped following what games were being released. And I just played a bunch of games that I thought were interesting.
Yeah.
And if a game comes out and it's amazing, people will let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel any pressure to play that game immediately. Like, I know Breath of the Wild's good, the new one. I just haven't played it. Sorry, Tears of the Kingdom. I know it's good. I don't care about playing it. I'll play it on my own time. And I've just found that I've enjoyed gaming way more when I've taken that approach.
Yeah.
It's been more fulfilling because I can also be like, I never expected anything from any of these games. And when they're good, I'm always pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, for sure.
So... yeah, I also said something that was controversial, and people told me it was controversial. I hate DLC, full stop. I just hate DLC. I just wish game companies didn't make DLC.
Like all kinds of DLC, or
I am. By the time
what's your gaming philosophy? Tell me your gaming philosophy.
Okay, because Elden Ring is coming out with a DLC that is crazy big and is awesome in swag.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I am already done with Elden Ring in my mind.
Yeah.
Right? Which is this is totally a me thing, right? I get it. Yeah, if you want to go back into that world, fantastic. I wish that they would just, instead of making more for a game that is already kind of done, just use that time to make like a second one or something, or make a new
Elden Ring 2.
I know this is a shit take, but for me, it's like, I just don't want to get reinvested in a DLC, pay like $20-$30 for something when I already feel like I'm kind of out of it. Like, I'd rather just start something new.
No, I actually agree with that. Like, if the DLC comes out not long after the original game came out, or like you're still playing the game and you're still invested in it, and a DLC comes out, then I'll be like, sweet. Yeah. But if it's like a year or two in between, or like, even longer sometimes, and I'm just like, well, I've kind of already checked out of this game. I'm like 2 games in to something else, right?
Do I really want to jump? It's probably worth going back in. Like, that's one of the rare occasions where I feel like it's worth it. But especially when some of these games split it up into like 4 or 5 DLCs.
But there's also a lot of DLCs where I just look at it and I'm like,
shit.
It might look fine, but I just can't be bothered, or it looks like shit.
Like, one egregious example, I think Pokemon Sword and Shield, when that came out, was shit. And they were like, no, but the DLC is such a game changer. And I'm like, what would have been a game changer if the game was fucking good?
Yeah.
And it was compelling, and I didn't waste my money.
Scarlet?
No. Sword and Shield.
The 2 expansions.
Yeah, which they were bragging about how amazing they were. And
I didn't play those.
Because
I was already checked out. I finished the game already.
This sucks. I don't. You've already fucking burnt the bridge. Don't fucking release this shit.
Well, in my case, it's like I already had beaten the game 100%. So I'm like, I'm done with this game. Like, I don't want to go back to it.
I felt burnt. I was like, you think I'm a fucking idiot? You think I'm going to come crawling back, give you money for the chance that it'll be good? Fuck off, bro. You already took $60 from me and it sucked.
That's like if like an anime was really dog shit and they're like, no, watch the OVA.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Just
All right, Joey, though, I have 3 words to completely throw a spanner in your argument.
Okay.
Persona 5 Royale.
See,
Go on,
I would not.
See, when I heard Persona 5
I would not count that as a DLC.
When I heard Persona 5 Royale,
Why would you not count it as a DLC?
Because they, for one, the base game, they changed so many elements of the story that it offered a completely new feel to the story, and it actually is. I feel, you know what it was?
I hate the sound of
DLC
this so much.
for me, Persona 5, and I might just be the only one thinking this. Persona 5 Royal to me is not a DLC. It's like an HD expansion.
What the fuck is the difference?
Expansion is a DLC.
Yeah.
No, expansion in the sense of like it. Well, no, because DLC is usually just like in the case of like Sword and Shield, right? It's like they tack it on to something that is pre-existing.
Like a reimagining.
Yeah, it's like a reimagining, basically.
Wait, so
It's like a more fleshed out version of something that is completely different from the baseline.
a question to somebody who doesn't know either.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I was to jump into the Persona game,
Yeah.
which one is the Persona experience?
Royal.
Royal.
Yeah, that's why I brought up
Oh,
this.
so it makes Persona 5 kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Royal, like
That's
that's
kind
why
of fucked up. They bring out a game that's like, oh yeah, by the way, the old one, fucking useless now.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mean that's why I brought up Persona 5 Royale as the argument because I know you fucking love it. But I'm like Persona 5 Royale has made Persona 5 the base game just totally irrelevant.
Doesn't that piss you off though? You paid money for Persona 5. And then they, like, a year later, they were like, oh, by the way, Persona 5, but better?
Yeah.
You know what? Atlas, take my money. I don't give a fuck.
There are 2 gamers inside of Joey.
Yeah.
One hates DLC, one loves Persona 5 Royale.
I hate DLCs if they're not done by Atlas.
We've been doing that since 2010.
No, they did it with Persona 4 as well, though.
Yeah, they did it with
And
Persona
3.
4 and 3.
And 3.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
you know what? Every single time
I mean-
the reimagined expansion version of it has always been better.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that for me though, that doesn't take away from the experience of playing the original game either. Because I still have great memories of playing the original Persona 5 when it came out.
Yeah.
Right? But now there's just like an added experience on top of it.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I actually kind of agree with you with DLC. The way I really think about it, right, with something like Persona 5 or like Persona 5 Royale or a lot of these DLCs, is the way I think about it, it's kind of just like the Lord of the Rings director's cut. You know, do you want the 3-hour director's cut? And most of the time, I say no. Right, for most games, I don't really care about DLC. I think the only DLC I've actually bought and enjoyed is the Mass Effect DLC, and that's my favorite game of all time. You know, so you know there can be good content with DLC, but most of the time, DLC appeals to me if I haven't played the game yet. You know, because because I tried playing something like the Horizon Zero Dawn DLCs, and the problem is once you've checked out of a game, once you've completed it, and it's been like fucking months and months, DLC 1 you don't care, 2 you've forgotten a lot of it, 3 a lot of the time it builds on the base game to be like post end game content, and by that point I've already forgotten all the fucking mechanics, you know, and the muscle memory's gone. So I'm just fighting monsters that are like I'm a beginner fighting monsters that are like 10 levels above what I remember them being. So I'm like, fuck, I've got to relearn this game just to play the DLC, you know. And unless the game's simple enough, I'm probably not going to play it. And I agree, I would prefer just to get another base game rather than just, I want to invest myself in like a 30 to 40 hour period of like gameplay rather than just a 10-hour tack on. If I hadn't played the game, that's great. I get 10 more hours of this extra game that I'm already invested in.
Yeah.
It's definitely case by case for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reason it might work for Royale or something like that is because it's just a completely finished game. You know, it's a completely finished story. There is no, I mean, I say this, but they did make more Persona 5, just not.
well, they did Persona 5, the fucking hack and slash Persona 5 game,
oh,
right?
shit. I just realized I made my own argument irrelevant because that is just fuck.
They released the tactics game as well.
Yeah, they released the tactics game as well.
Okay, ignore me.
And a rhythm game.
I don't have an argument to stand on.
Why the fuck are they so against putting their things on PC?
What?
Did they-
Atlas?
Yeah.
No, it is on PC.
It is on
Not
PC.
Persona 5.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Royale's on PC.
Royale's on PC.
Yeah.
Recently,
Recently.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my,
recently
like,
on
why?
PC.
Why recently?
because they Microsoft.
Because gamers like you complain loud enough.
Yeah, no, I wanted it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah, but you have to remember as well that like it took 10 years for them to make Persona 5 after Persona 4. So
Yeah,
they
but-
are very slow moving in that sense. But
Oh, they gotta-
in that case, you know what? Atlas has very few misses in my opinion, so it's worth the wait.
Hey,
in
let
my
them
opinion.
cook, man. Let them
Yeah,
cook.
I'm letting them cook.
We have
I
enough-
know Persona 6 is gonna come out in like 2050, but you know what? I'm gonna let them cook.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Like, there is, not just with games, there is enough media out there to satisfy your boredom. If you don't have something to play, there is enough of a fucking backlog.
Yeah.
If a game releases, if something like Cyberpunk does release in a buggy form, yes, of course, there is some fault with the game developers for releasing that early, but a lot of fault also comes with the company as well for having, for setting unrealistic release schedules.
Well, the company is. I mean, I as much as I'm not sympathetic towards companies at all.
Yeah.
But obviously they're just like, all right, we have this much money. You gotta. This is how long it'll last. You gotta get something out by then. And obviously
Yeah.
when it's not ready, it's like, well, we either cut the game or we give more money or we push it out right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's just the industry is just not in a good spot right now. People are not being paid enough.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, but the thing is, a lot of these game companies make like record profits, which is like, okay. So what's the excuse then?
So where's it going?
Like, stop paying Activision. Stop giving your CEO a $20 million bonus and make a god fucking good game.
Yeah, I mean, gamers are one of the community that I see complain the most. Yet somehow they
Get fucked
keep
the most.
They keep giving them money.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so firmly against pre-ordering. And when people pre-ordered shit, I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're the reason why we can't have nice things, because they know they can release this like shit and you'll buy it.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys think of early access then?
I hate early
I hate
access.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I know that everyone's like, no, but they advertised it, and it's like, no, they released it, they put it out there, people are gonna play it, and they're gonna think that's the game.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I mean, to me, early access
It's
is
like crowdfunding,
Yeah.
essentially, the way I see it. Like, it's more of a, hey, invest in this idea. If you do, I promise I'll fix it. But there's no promise.
There's no promise.
to,
Yeah.
to,
That'll
to,
be
to me,
finished.
like early access is Cyberpunk's release with better PR. You know, I've never really understood early access to me as I understand it like conceptually on paper, but in practice, I'm like,
Well, I think it makes sense, like you said, conceptually, but I think it just has been abused.
yeah,
A lot of people will, you know, especially in like horror games, they'll just make a half-baked horror game, rake in a bunch of money, get
Yeah.
a Matt Pat video, and then they're like, all right, well, I'm out. I don't make it anymore. Well, I don't need to finish it. What's finishing it going to do?
good old Matt Pat keeping early access horror games alive.
Dude, like, it's like, you look at something like Poppy's Playtime, and like, I was in like Fuji Q, and they were selling,
the
Huggy
dolls,
Wuggy
right?
is this
Yeah.
called. They were selling fucking Poppy Playtime plushies in Fuji Q. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this game that big?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, I thought that the first time I saw Five Nights at Freddy's as well, and you could just like buy Freddy Fazbear plushies and
You seen
like
the
donkey.
Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
no,
They're making a movie.
There's a trailer out,
there's a
right?
trailer. I
It
know
looks,
that.
it looks decent.
Really?
It looks
Shut
okay.
the fuck up. Get the fuck out. Get
Hold on, I haven't seen it
Get
either.
the
I need to
fuck
see.
out.
I need to
It's
see.
decent.
get the fuck out of here right
It
now.
doesn't look like I imagine some, you know, something Matt Pat would make a video out of.
Five Nights at Freddy official. Is this just the official teaser?
Welcome to Freddie Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy
Okay.
and fun come to life. Hit it, guys. If you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddie's newest security guard.
This looks like a parody. It is.
We're going to have so much fun together.
Ain't no way that's gonna be.
It didn't look as bad.
Do you know what that reminded me of? You know when you log into YouTube someday and someone made a parody like of a different type of genre of like Pokemon or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me.
It's like Pokemon if it was a horror game.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Nicolas Cage film that was basically like Five Nights at Freddy's?
What was it called?
Yeah, there was a Nicolas Cage film that was like
6 Nights at Sarah's.
it was like 4 Nights at Chucky's.
Chucky's.
I think it was very. I mean, obviously they don't own the concept of a kid's animatronic dance.
Yeah.
Willy's Wonderland. It's actually like I heard it was pretty good.
I mean, all Nicolas Cage
And
films are good.
he doesn't speak in the film.
Yeah, there is no bad.
Oh, that's why it's good.
No, there is no bad Nicolas Cage
He's
film.
fun.
You cannot convince me that there is a bad Nicolas Cage
I
film
don't think
out
he
there.
even realized he's acting. I think he's just.
I don't think he realized this camera's running.
I don't actually think he knows what's happening. I think he just turns up and they pay him.
He's a character in the what's that horror game?
What?
Yeah, he's modeled like him as an actor is actually a video game the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
TFT.
Yeah. Was it?
But no, you know what I talked about earlier about how memes have ruined certain pieces of media? Memes have already ruined this film for me, even if it's good. You know?
Yeah.
I wanted a Mungus movie.
Oh my. It's gonna happen. It's I guarantee.
He said he was sus.
If this is legitimately happening and it does well, they're going to make an Among Us movie.
They're gonna have an Among Us movie, and then it's gonna end with I think he's Among Us. Fade to black. That's how it's gonna go.
It's like round 2 start.
Because I'm gonna be watching Five Nights at Freddy, and I'm gonna be thinking like at any moment I'm just gonna hear, "Is that the bite of 87?"
You remembered it wrong.
Is it 87?
87.
It's 87, yeah.
I got 80. Damn, kind of out of sync there for a second.
There has to be a Markiplier reference. At least.
Of course.
Yeah, because I can't believe this is being made. What I've kind of realized is that if something is memed enough, it's actually going to be made in this day.
I think. Again, I could be wrong. I think Poppy's Playtime, they were trying to make something like an animated thing or something.
Oh my god.
Right.
Even though it's oh god.
Why?
Have you played it?
Huh?
Have you played it?
No,
I've played both parts.
I've seen playthroughs of it.
It's awful.
Yeah, it just looks like Walmart Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's not good at all.
It's so popular.
It was popular. I think it's fallen off quite a bit.
Oh really?
Yeah, because there's a flavor of the week horror that always replaces it.
Yeah.
There was some other game that came out that was like a terrible version of that, which is saying something. There's always another game that's being released that.
There's always some kind of like hot indie horror game, right?
Yeah.
Is there? Because I haven't heard of much recently. Because I think
you don't follow the circles.
probably because of that. But like I remember, it felt like it peaked for me during like the PewDiePie Screamo era, there
was way more. Like the Five Nights at Freddy's, the size it got to,
Yeah,
was
it was
so
ridiculous.
insane.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, even if you don't care for it, which I don't.
There were entire channels I remember back in the day, like 2015, 2016, that were just purely dedicated to Five Nights at
I mean,
Freddy's.
Game Theory was getting like 10 million views a video, which is crazy numbers for that. Like it was Five Nights at Freddy's was absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And on a scale that I think we haven't seen on YouTube before. Way more than Amnesia.
Yeah.
Amnesia as a game was never really popular, but Amnesia as like a YouTube content was always pretty popular.
I mean, there are some games that exist out there that I'm like, this would not exist if YouTubers and Twitch streamers weren't a thing.
Happy Wheels. You remember that fucking game?
Happy Wheels was fun.
Happy Wheels is fun, but I feel it wouldn't have gotten as popular if it wasn't for all the YouTubers playing it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Jump King, right corner, corner.
No, it would have been very popular. It's a great game. Pogo Stalker would not have been popular.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, for a lot of these YouTube videos, for a lot of the indie horror games, getting a YouTube video explaining your lore blow up is.
I mean, that's the
how you blow up.
best marketing strategy.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Fear and Hunger.
Yeah.
That's a great example of that, right?
People just love crazy games with interesting concepts.
Yeah. Do you know what thought I had recently?
Oh god.
While we're on the topic of what we think the future is going to be,
Go on.
do you think food has peaked? do you think cooking? Okay. Let me explain myself. Let me explain
That is
myself.
the weirdest question I've ever heard.
Okay. This is Garnt going into like weirdo shower thoughts mode.
No,
right?
this is like you
Do you
doing
think-
weird.
That's probably what like British people thought when they like discovered curry. They were like,
when they discovered spice.
I think food's peak, guys.
Yeah. Like, do you think you've tasted the best thing you're ever going to taste in your life already?
No.
I've gotten close, I'd say.
What do you mean you've gotten
I got
close?
for a video. I got served sushi from the best sushi chef in the world,
Right.
using the best fish in the world. And
Yeah.
that one piece of tuna that I had, fatty chutoro,
Yeah.
was like the closest I've ever gotten to coming in my pants while eating. Like legitimately, I think in terms of food in general, no, I don't think I've had the best thing. In terms
Yeah.
of seafood, yes, I think I have had it.
Well, I think maybe the ingredients. Well, it's always changing, right? Because like think about like you're gonna say Brussels sprouts. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
You know, they always find. You know, I'm like, remember when we like grew up? It was like a meme that you'd never eat the Brussels
I
sprouts.
always,
It
I
tastes
always
like
liked them
shit.
growing up. Though.
Huh?
I always liked them. Growing
See, I
up.
fucking hated them, and then suddenly, over like the past 10 years, it almost felt like people just figured out how to cook them. Yeah, like you know.
I think genetically they've changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right.
they're actually like they've been genetically
Not as bitter anymore. Or?
Yeah, I can't remember. Could you Google this? I think that I can't remember, something's changed genetically, and now they're a lot more appetizing.
Yeah.
And obviously people have gotten better at cooking them.
Yeah.
But I think that goes hand in hand with like when they taste better, people get better at cooking them because they want to use them more.
Yeah.
That's why like whenever we're in the US and I see Brussels and sprouts on the menu, I'm like, we're ordering these. Because
Yeah.
I know they're going to be bomb. they're always so good.
If they have the audacity to put it on a menu, you know it's gonna
Every
slap.
time in Hawaii we ate them, they were always
They
the
were pretty
best
fucking
thing.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because like, okay, I don't know if I don't know if this is just something like worldwide or just something that I've noticed in my very, very small circles, but do you think people have just gotten better at cooking, period?
Yeah, of course, because knowledge
Yeah.
is more accessible, and we have tools in the kitchen that allow you to cook
Experiment
things easier.
more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like rice. Rice cookers are a great way of getting perfect rice every
White
single
people
time.
discover how to properly cook rice
Right.
because
I didn't
because of
know-
Uncle Roger.
I don't think I'd ever had rice that was cooked properly my entire life till I came to Japan.
Really?
Yeah, I just no
Because
one-
they're probably fucking sifting it through a colander like that one video,
I was
right?
taught to sift it.
Yeah.
So like that, and then also, you know, just technology getting better, like appliances getting better, methods
Yeah.
of cooking getting like, you know, like we have the air fryer now, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think there'll always be something, and then obviously we're always playing God and genetically modifying our foods
Yeah.
to make them taste better. So I think it'll always get better.
And then we're eventually going to get to that point, like in all the post-apocalyptic movies, where it's just like a one and
bar,
all pill
yeah.
or
Yeah.
like a one and all bar.
hyped.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever get to that point because people.
I'm kind of doing that now. I'm kind of
I feel like it's already there almost.
I drink like those meal replacements sometimes when I'm streaming because I can't be bothered to order food and I don't want to.
no, I couldn't-
And
I
it's so
couldn't do
sad because I'm kind of like mourning the death of food.
Yeah, you're like the one person who like froths
Yeah.
over food.
I love food so much. It's so sad that I have to drink this thing. I don't have to, but
You're
opting.
opting to.
Yeah, because it's just easy. And
Food's great though.
Food's so great, but I don't want to fucking. I was sitting in my
It's on that
chat.
grind, bro.
Gone on stream, just was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back in an hour. I'm gonna go eat lunch." And just left his stream for an hour to go eat lunch, and I'm like, mad respect to you. I don't know why I'm in my brain. I can't and don't want to do that. I'm like, I just want to keep doing the thing.
No, because I mean,
I value getting a lunch, like
yeah,
a good lunch.
I value enjoying my meal and just having a me time. I
Imagine just watching the news, and the dude's like, "All right, well, there is more news, but I'm gonna head out for lunch. So I'm gonna see you guys now."
Okay, here's the thing though. Okay, I mean, I have the privilege of doing this because streaming isn't my main
Yeah, true,
job.
true.
I kind of see it as a hobby. But like, if I'm live and I want to eat lunch and I want to enjoy my lunch, any other office employee can be like, "All right, I'm going out for a lunch break." Why can't streamers do the same? I just went on my lunch break. Why is that? Why is that such a fucking like awful thought in the world of streaming?
I think it's because like, unlike at an office job, you don't have a bunch of people coming to you like waiting to see what you're doing. That's like if you were at a fucking football stadium and the umpire was like, So I know we're in the middle of a game, 30,000 people in the stadium, but I really need to go get a snack. So I'm gonna hold the game right now for a second.
But the games actually, I was like, the games are going for 8 hours. Maybe some sports do.
Some of them do.
Okay, but you don't stream 5 days a week. You know, fucking. There are some little joys in life that I think all people should have, and a lunch break and a nice dinner is just one of those things. You know,
I just would have loved to have been a viewer in that stream, like fucking enjoying every moment of it.
Yeah, what was chat doing the entire time?
And then you're like, all right, I'm going out.
No, because I've literally been on stream and I'm like, chat, I forgot I had a meeting now. I'll be back in an hour, and I've just put it on like be right back for an hour.
Okay, I've done that. I've done that.
That's funny.
I don't know. I'm just like, if you know, streamers are so it always seems like they're just addicted to streaming, and I'm like, a part of it is just having
You
a
kind of
health.
have to be.
Yeah, part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I'm addicted. It's that I want to provide the best viewer experience, and me not disappearing for an hour is part of that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, come on, I need lunch.
no, I mean, like,
I don't know, man. You've done sleeping streams. It's not that different.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Be right back, guys. I'm gonna go sleep.
Yeah.
an important thing is having a healthy lifestyle
I agree.
around that, and I'm like,
Which is like level impossible for a lot of streamers.
and also I just don't really care, so I do this as a hobby. So I'm like, if I want my lunch break, I'm
I'm jealous. I
Yeah.
respect it. I wish I had that mindset.
You should try it once
My shop be like, what the fuck?
just to see how they respond.
Yeah, but I guess like, well, what are we talking about? Yeah, the thing is about food. I was just like, there's been a few moments in my life where you remember that first time you've tried this new dish that has not reached any flavor profile that you've like had previously.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, I remember like the first time I had like A5 Wagyu, and first time, obviously it was like, holy shit, this is godlike.
Yep.
I've never tasted like this at all. I don't have something to compare this to my previous experience, because nothing has tasted like this thing I'm tasting. And I'm like, am I ever going to experience that again? You know, have I tasted everything that there is possibly to taste that's going to taste good? You know, because you know, I'm sure there's things I haven't tasted.
Well, unless you've traveled to every single country in the world with every single different food culture in the world, I don't think you'll ever get to that point, to be honest. You know, like, not everything you're going to have is going to be the most, like, orgasm-inducing thing like A5 Wagyu, but, like, you're probably going to, you know, if you travel the world and you see all sorts of different food cultures, there's probably going to be one item in the hundreds of thousands where you're like, holy shit, why is no one talking about this?
Yeah. It's just, I realized Japan like spoiled me, because when I moved to Japan, that was just 1 year of just like every month I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. Holy shit. Fatty tuna, all right. A5 Wagyu, unagi, tsukemen, soup curry. Oh my god, that was such a magical year, and I'm like chasing that high again, man. I'm just chasing that high again.
It's never gonna happen. John. Enjoy what you have.
Yeah, enjoy what you have,
Love
bro.
what you loved. Not that it's gone.
No, I'm not saying I don't like good food anymore. It's just
I think Japan has just ruined your perception of the peak of food.
yeah, I'm like nowadays I'm like, maybe food's peaked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've peaked my food experience. I'm never gonna relive that year
like,
again.
is food peaked?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? You know, we've been to, you know, I'm sure Malin has taken us to some like Michelin star fucking restaurant, and to me, it's never lived up to the price point, or it's never even come close to being like the best thing I've tasted, and that's true for like most Michelin star places.
The thing I hate most about Michelin star places, and it's always the fancy places that do this, the single worst dishes in the food existence is just foam. There's just an obsession with foam in like rich places.
Like meringue and shit.
No, like just foam. They'll be like, we've turned this fish into a foam, and it's delightful. And you try it, you're like, it tastes like a fish cummed in my mouth. I'm like, I don't want this. Like, you have had this. We've been to restaurants where.
Where? Which one? The Heston Blumenthal one.
No, not that one. There's just, in Japan they do it a lot. I went to one the other day, and they had like unagi foam, and I thought, fucking hell.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, this tastes like ass. I don't want this. And then I went to, when we went to that sukiyaki place,
Oh,
there was
yeah.
one where Maylene took us to, and it was like, it wasn't egg, it was egg foam that you would dunk it in.
Egg foam.
And it was gross, because it tastes like, again, it was like foam. It's like, I hate foam. Stop foaming shit. Just give me a liquid or a solid. God damn it.
Yeah.
So that's my rant on foam.
Yeah. To me, I hate the word deconstructed. if there is a
Tiramisu deconstructed.
if there is something deconstructed on the menu, I already know I'd rather just have the thing that is deconstructing.
It's a Lunchable deconstructed.
That's basically what deconstructed is.
We've taken the plastic wrapping away.
It's just very fancy Lunchables. That's what you've done here,
isn't
Mr. Chef.
Like fajitas deconstructed tacos kind of burritos?
Kinda. I mean, hamburger teishoku is just a hamburger
The hamburger
deconstructed.
shit. So
It's hamburger deconstructed.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Let him cook. Right.
I don't know. I like fajitas though. Fajitas,
I fucking love fajitas.
Yeah, fajitas great.
Yeah.
Love fajitas.
But
We can
that's
all
like,
agree on
I
that.
like it because of the control. You know, the control of how you can make the fajita the way you want to make your fajita. You know,
I mean, the weakness of fajita is that you are the one making it though too, because you're like you've had 3 fajitas in, you're like, this is great, and then you're like, wait, I have 2 tortillas left and way too much meat and veg, or the other way around.
that's not your problem. That's the portion size problem. You know, you'd never get this problem in America because
Or sometimes you share with someone and they put way too much in their fajita. You're like, you gotta calm down. We are sharing this.
But that's the problem with
you put 2 worth of fajitas in one.
Yeah.
You gotta stop that right now.
Yeah.
Because I am not rationing this.
But that's the problem with fajitas, right? Like you said, you like the control of it, right? But it's like you're not in control because the portion sizes that they give you are already like preset.
well, unless
So you're not actually in control. You're just like you're in a pre-rendered cutscene.
When
unless you
I
cook your own
see someone
fajitas.
build a fajita and that shit's spilling out everywhere, I'm like,
Yeah. I'm like, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just realized, why is this just like a scientific fact where when you order fajita, you will always get less meat than there is for like fajita patties or like
cheap as fuck.
Because it's cheaper for the restaurant. That's why.
It's so goddamn cheap, Garnt.
They're skimping out. They're cutting the corners, bro.
But anyway, I guess that was our food takes in the future and has food peaked.
A
and
view of the future.
all that fun stuff. And thank you for listening to Trash Taste.
Hey, but look at all these patrons, though.
ooh.
And I'm sure I can see the future of all of you who haven't joined the Patreon yet, that you will join the Patreon if you love the show and would like to hear more of our rambling. And you know what? You can do that by going to patreon.com/trashtaste.
Do that.
You can also follow us on the subreddit. Send us your memes on the Twitter or the subreddit. And if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify.
All right. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Trash Taste. We'll see you in the future. Bye.